everybody, to BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your good friend, Mr. BDA, and alongside with me, as always, my co-host, the one, the only King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for being here on this Good Friday. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but before we get down to the fun, we got to get the business out of the way. Don't forget to like, subscribe to BDA Live. We got a film analysis over there at the moment for Demetrius Andrade. It's a very fun film analysis. We got Recognize in there, we got Gonzalo in there, and King Bucho, and of course myself. So check that one out. Don't forget to spread the BDA gospel, and if you get a couple of shekels that you can line up our way, you can certainly do so over the super chat feature during the show here, or you can send them via the Patreon or the PayPal page. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for joining us today, guys. A Good Friday. But let me tell you something. There's nothing good about some of the comments that I just read coming from Canelo Alvarez's team. So we're going to get to that. We're also going to talk some boxing. Just a very loose format show. But of course, we start off with a specific subject. Now, I want to give a shout out to everybody listening, everybody in the chat room. Shout out to Virtuoso, Santos Romo, Giuseppe La Roca, Saint Brit, Hard Recoil, Alan Caro, Late Al, Gonzalo Zinder, Jason Bourne. Shout out to Jason Bourne, Johnny Boy, Carrero de la Info, The Quags, and many more to come, I'm sure. Guys, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we're going to open up the phone lines too in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, let's introduce the subject at hand. By the way, we got Gonzalo on the line. Gonzalo, are you there?
Yes, hello. Hopefully my mic's working fine.
Yeah, you didn't break up just right now, and there's no echo either. So things are looking good, Gonzalo. Things are looking good. All right, listen. I want to talk a little about Bucho told me about this, and I said, "Well, what is this? I mean, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, we're going to analyze it, and we're going to see what exactly is going on." And that is the comments from Eddy Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, who just came out and said they don't want to fight any Mexicans. Now, that's the way they try to paint it. Is it really what he said? Let's find out. Let me just share the screen here with my colleagues on the Discord, and I'm going to put it up for everybody to see here. Hold on a second. Put on the dark. There we go. All right. Zoom in so you guys can see what's it. Canelo's coach explains why they don't want the Munguia fight. Eddy Reynoso, the head trainer of Mexican superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez, does not embrace the possibility of having his boxer face undefeated Jaime Munguia in 2020 or 2021. Munguia recently moved up the middleweight division with the hope of eventually facing Canelo. The two boxers are promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. Canelo and Reynoso have not really been in favor of facing another Mexican boxer, especially a young contender on the rise. They would rather see Munguia make a name for himself to propel his career. Now, let's go to the quote, because I want to really break this out. He says, "Not really. I would not want us to face Mexican fighters. We're looking for other things, other types of champions. I highly respect the careers of the three of them. I would like to fight with Benavidez. He's an explosive fighter, a fighter who can give a good fight. Sudo Ramirez is a great fighter, but he's inactive. Jaime Munguia is 160. He's just entering the division. We are at 168. We would like to fight with fighters from another country, not Mexicans." So see, in the beginning, I thought he was saying no Mexicans because there's no Mexicans to fight right now. And that he would give his reasons why Benavidez and Ramirez and Munguia were, didn't qualify for that. But then when he says we want to fight fighters from other countries, not Mexicans, makes it seem a little, nationalistic. So bottom line is this, guys. We gotta call it how we see it. Imagine if Deontay Wilder came out and says, "I don't want to fight another black fighter." Or if Inoue said, "I don't want to fight Casimero because I don't want to fight any other Asian fighters." Are we misreading what Reynoso said? Or is it exactly how it sounds?
Maybe. Just by saying not Mexicans, maybe not Mexicans right now because they're interested in fighting Ryoto Murata in Japan and the English guys and Callum Smith and Billy Joe, and trying to set up the platform for the zone to expand worldwide. So
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
not sure entirely if that's what he meant, but it could maybe seem that we're misinterpreting it. But it does sound like what you're saying just by the sound of it in writing. But I would have to listen to the connotation of his voice in the actual interview to see how it sounds to get a better interpretation. That's
Well, because my thing is why would he bring nationalism into it in the first place? Why not just say, listen, we don't want, because it's pretty clear he's talking about three.
Well,
Why is he talking about three Mexicans? You know, he could have said the same thing about maybe a guy like Andrade or maybe a guy like Charlo. Hey, look, they haven't really fought anybody, blah, blah, blah. But he has to point out the three Mexicans, saying they don't want to face Mexicans, they want to face fighters from other countries. Something's fishy here. Why,
okay,
why would he? Was that?
there's three fighters, right? There's
Right.
Munguia,
Uh huh.
uh, um, Jesus Christ,
Benavides,
Gilberto
Benavides,
Ramirez, and David Benavides. Okay, now
yes.
you look at one by one. Munguia. I agree with Gonzalo, and I agree obviously with what Eddy Reynoso said. That guy's not ready, right? He just moved up to 160, but let's be honest, he hasn't been looking that good in his last performances. He looked like shit.
Mhm.
He just got with Morales. Listen, that fight it's pointless. All right, he's too green. Munguia is too green. So let's move on. Now you get Ramirez and Benavides. Those are great fights. This is where I have an issue because Eddy Reynoso saying that, well, Ramirez, he's been inactive, and Benavides, he should fight Ramirez. He should fight Ramirez. Yeah, like that doesn't make sense. That's not an excuse. Okay, Ramirez hasn't fought for a while now. Fair enough. You can still sell that fight though. It's two Mexicans. Now we talk about Benavides. You're not saying anything that's going to convince me as to why you don't need to fight this guy.
Mhm.
All Eddy Reynoso said is like, well, he should fight Ramirez.
First of all, I guarantee you that if he fights Ramirez, he schools Ramirez. That's not, even though Ramirez is bigger, well, seemingly bigger, because we've already seen Canelo compete at 175. He's taller than Canelo, okay, but he's way too slow. He doesn't have good timing. He's not a great counterpuncher. He doesn't have a great jab. He doesn't have anything that I see that would really bother Canelo with. I mean, okay, maybe a couple of things that could bother him because of he does have heart and he'll try to go for it. But he's not beating Canelo. I guarantee you. I'd be willing to bet any amount of money on that. All right. Like you said, Munguia. Okay, he's not. He looked very bad against the Japanese guy that went at him, and there was a lot of clinching. And then he looked very bad against Dennis Hogan. Okay, but like you said, Benavides. They offer like okay. That's what I was gonna say. They wanted to fight Plant. Canelo actually made an offer, right, to Caleb Plant, who's got one win against what's his name again, the Venezuelan / Mexican fighter, the
Jose Iscategui.
Uzcategui. Yes, thank you. But Uzcategui just went on and lost his fight afterwards. So we're kind of seeing what type of opponent he was. And Caleb Plant, his face looked all sorts of fucked up after the Uzcategui fight. Not to denigrate Uzcategui too much, and just because he was marked up, Plant that is, doesn't necessarily mean that he got. But what I'm saying is, they're willing to face
Yeah,
Plant, but they're not willing to face Munguia or Benavides. I mean, come on, like you said, Buchu,
that's a good point. Another point is economically speaking,
economically.
I think Canelo would make more money fighting Benavides than fighting Plant.
Absolutely, yeah, they know that. They
So
know that. I mean, come on.
there is no reason why Plant. Listen, you know what there might be doing? I mean, fuck. Canelo might be just he's gonna get paid, right? He already signed a contract with the zone. He's trying to pull off a Roy Jones early 2000s when he had that HBO contract. And he was fighting cab drivers and police officers. So, remember that?
Yeah, I
That
remember
period?
that. But the zone seems to be pressuring him. The zone seems to be pressuring him into making, because again, they don't want to pay him for shit fights. I mean, look at what they forced, or they tried to force Triple G on him, and he was forced to. He said, "Fuck it, I don't want to face Golovkin, so I'll make you a sweet deal. I go to 175, I'll make a historic event, and I'll fight Kovalev." But even then, I don't know if it's just my perception, because I read less and less about outside of the ring stuff. I really do just try to concentrate on what happens in the ring. But with the Kovalev Canelo fight, wasn't it a bit of a disappointment, the event? I mean, we saw the crowd, there didn't seem to be that much hype. They screwed up by trying to make it after or air it rather, after the Masvidal fight, and they waited all the way till midnight or something to make that fight. It seems like the energy was out of the crowd. Then that the result was disappointing. There was some shenanigans there with Kovalev, and I mean, it just seemed like it felt. So I think that fight actually may have hurt Canelo more in the eyes fans, the viewpoint of the fans. I think it might have hurt him more. You got people that are trying to, the zone. They're trying to build that up as of, oh, Canelo knocked out light heavyweight, but there was something weird with that victory, and I didn't see a lot of hype for the fact that he was moving up to 175. There didn't seem to be that much buzz around the fight. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, Canelo certainly seems to be.
I think he pulled it out.
Yeah, well, he pulled it out. Yeah,
the Jacobs fight, that was lackluster. That was a boring affair. But Jacobs had a lot to do with that. And I think if it would have gone to a decision, it would have been the same story where he wouldn't have got credit. And at this point, having like a dubious close to it goes into the judge's hands, that would have been far worse. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. It was kind of like a Deontay Wilder fight. Nothing really happens until the knockout comes. Fortunately for him, it did come. But it wasn't like a 10, like an A+ performance. Maybe like a B-.
I actually prefer the Jacobs fight than the Kovalev fight. You just said, like, I like that Jacobs said, screw that, I'm going to pay the fine. I'm going to rehydrate over the limit, and let's see what happens now. Let's see you beat me while I'm 100%. And Canelo did. Kovalev fight, there was something wrong there. But, this whole thing, again, fighters and promoters and team members, they talk the talk, but at the end of the day, the fighter fights the guy. That's all that matters. So maybe Canelo will end up fighting in the near future a Mexican, and this was just Reynoso. Maybe he had too much tequila or something. I don't know. He spoke at the school, but this type of comments, like I said, imagine if Errol Spence had come out and says, "Listen, I don't want to face Sean Porter because I don't want to face another African American." Could you imagine people would lose their minds over that?
Do you think they're gonna get some Mexican support? But the Mexicans are gonna be like, "Oh well, look at Canelo. He doesn't want to face other Mexicans. He'd rather face fighters from other nations or races, whatever." Oh man, he's such a cool guy, man. He's such a patriot.
But that's such a dumb thing, because who's gonna buy that? Because fighting is about fighting the best. It has nothing to do with this ain't war where you stick with your countrymen. And, it's like, yeah, it's stupid. By the way, we got Johnny Boy on the line. Johnny Boy, there?
Yeah, how you doing, fellas?
Good.
Listen, man, I don't think I can throw hands with any more white people, bro. I can't fight any more Italians or Germans or white people. Like I just can't do it no more, because I don't want to be beating people up for my own race. So, that's just. But not that there's any good Mexicans for Canelo to fight out there anyway, because Benavidez ain't done shit. He's just been snorting coke and getting acne on his face. So, I mean, what like I say, bro, what should happen and how it would have happened in the old days is Plant and Benavidez unify. The winner gets the crack at Canelo. That's how it should go. That's how it should go. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Munguia. Munguia sucks.
It's true.
Well,
no, but
at
listen.
168, I don't think Canelo's really proven either. I think Benavidez, just from the eye test, I think that's a dangerous fight for Canelo because he's a big guy at 68, and he got skills to where he is a boxer puncher that's explosive and goes well upstairs and downstairs, mixes it up.
But Gonzalo, who's he fought? Exactly.
Yeah, if we go down the line, none of these guys at 68.
Yeah, well, that's why I said him and Plant should fight to prove their worth, and then the winner should get a crack.
Benavidez.
So what are the other options for Canelo then?
What's that?
What are the other options for Canelo? Like fighters that are actually proven. So we got Billy Joe Saunders. We can make the same argument about this guy. He beat Eubank Jr. and Lemieux.
I'm saying what I'm saying is Bucho, while Canelo's going to be fighting Golovkin for a third time, Plant and Benavidez should be fighting, and that should be Canelo's next Cinco de Mayo fight.
Yeah. Like he shouldn't be just sitting around waiting for that Canelo fight. You know
exactly. He should go or go fight somebody else with a title at 68. Who's got the titles? Plant, Benavidez, and who's the other two? Smith.
Plant, Benavidez, Callum Smith. Andrade's at 60, right?
Yeah, Andrade's
So,
60. Yeah.
You know
so
what?
Benavides, Plant, and Smith.
You know what? Here's the thing. For anybody that says that Canelo has no options, he's got tons of options. This guy, he could fight. Okay, it might not be Mayweather Pacquiao, the event that is, but if he faces a guy like Benavides, even though Benavides hasn't really fought anybody, just based on the eye test, on the fact that he's got heavy artillery and skills, and the fact that he's of Mexican descent, that would create some nice buzz. Just look at what Canelo did against Chavez Jr. We all knew, well, maybe not everybody, but I knew he was going to school Chavez. I knew it was going to be a no contest. And yet people flocked to see that fight. They try to make this like, oh, a Mexican war. It's going to be Morales Barrera. And Chavez, again, the perennial loser, showed up in their training in his kitchen. And once he got hit, the first 3 rounds he got hit, he just decided to go into survival mode. But the people showed up. So if he fights Benavides, Canelo that is, or even Munguia, I guarantee Mexicans show up in droves to watch that fight.
Oh, definitely.
Make that
Even
fight in
for the
California.
Munguia fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if they make that fight.
Anywhere it happens.
Well, Texas,
Well, they could make it Texas, Chicago, California. I mean, Las Vegas. People that the Mexicans would flow. And you know what? It's true that if he fights a guy like Benavides and or Munguia, they would make for slightly more entertaining fights because those guys aren't going to back up. Whereas Billy Joe Saunders, who obviously deserves the fight more than those guys, it's going to be more of a tactical affair. But, I don't know about you guys. I'm going to tell you my opinion. I would rather see him fight Billy Joe Saunders or even Andrade, just because we've seen Canelo fight sluggers. I want to see him. It's been a while since he's fought a mover. So that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, but you know what? To think of him fighting another Mexican at 68 would be interesting because historically there hasn't been too many fighters in those divisions. I think Julio Cesar Chavez broke the ice at 60, maybe Julio Gonzalez at 75, like way back before. But as far as like a deep pool of fighters, there has never been in the higher weights. But historically, we've had a lot of fights that were very entertaining in the lower weights between two Mexicans or two Mexican Americans. Now with this weight, there's only like 3 names that we can really bring up, but it would be definitely a fight that would sell out, just given those that narrative. Two
Hey,
Hispanics
listen,
fighting each other at the higher weight.
Mexicans, man, we're getting bigger. We're starting to eat better. We're getting some vitamins, getting them over Amazon and eBay. So watch out, man. You might. Yeah.
Oh, you motherfucker! You motherfuckers are still my size.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, by the way, today is Good Friday, and because of the COVID, people are staying indoors. They can't congregate and all that. What are those guys in the Philippines and in the south of Mexico? Those guys that crucify themselves. What are they gonna do? They're not gonna. What? They're gonna crucify themselves in their garage? Their schedule is fucked now.
Well, BDA, I gotta tell you, I talked to God this morning, and he told me, he said, "Don't even bother with your Lent calendar or fasting or none of that shit because you're a fucking savage. You're past the point of no return." That's what he told me.
Wait a minute. How dare you say that, man? No, but yeah, I mean, because I was thinking those guys in the field, you've seen those, right? Those guys that they make a show of it. They crucify, they nail themselves to a cross, and they want to. Yeah, imagine that guy. One of those guys. He was waiting months and months. Oh, April's coming. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I got the nails ready. I got the cross, and all of a sudden this COVID things, and it just shits all over the fucking plans. That's gotta be tough, man. But hey, listen, there's always next year, man. So save those nails for next year.
El Via Crucis. I don't know. My wife, she's Jehovah's Witness, and they do the Passover yearly, and they got this application called Zoom. So like everybody congregated for the application.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of like similar to this, like Discord. So we were on screen sharing with other families. That's how they did.
Do they make dick jokes like we do, or?
No, they pass the bread and the wine.
Oh,
if you're like one of the anointed of the 144,000, you're supposed to eat from the bread and the wine.
And God bless you for that. And God bless you for that.
That's great, man. Listen, I'll tell you, what's that?
Phone lines.
Okay. What I wanted to say was Butch is trying to, in his own way, he's trying to say we're going to open up the phone line. Did you open up the phone lines or?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to log on. But yeah, man, because listen, this whole thing about the Reynoso saying that, like Butch, like you said, he's trying to get, nationalistic points with the Mexicans. Because I get the feeling a lot of Mexicans don't like Canelo. I mean, look, I respect his skills, but he's I don't know. I get a bad vibe from the guy.
He's
I think a
about,
lot of Mexicans
I
don't
don't
like
know,
him. I don't know how
50-50.
many. 50-50. I mean, they do show up to his fights. That's for sure. So, yeah, I'd say 50-50.
Hey, Butcher,
50-50.
did you open up the phone lines 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought I told you not to open them yet.
Yeah, but well, anyways.
Anyway, yeah, okay. Well, listen,
See,
guys, we're going to... Go ahead, Gonzalo, go ahead.
with Canelo, I think if you're a fan, and if you're a guy that likes to root for if you're a Mexican and you wanna select or pick a Mexican fighter, because you're just that way, like ride or die with this guy. He's pretty reliable because of the chin. So
Mhm.
anybody that's a boxing fan, that's a Mexican, it's very easy to jump on the bandwagon because you know he got skills and he could take a punch. So it's gonna be pretty hard to beat him. And with everything else that Oscar De La Hoya and the judges and the catch weights, you're gonna do pretty well with Canelo unless he faces a guy that I don't know who you guys think, but maybe that's the reason he don't want to fight another Mexican because that would be a hard challenge, especially I think in David Venezuela.
But you know what, man?
No, no.
Because... What?
I don't know. I think Callum Smith is a bigger challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Than
And by the way,
Benavidez, right?
phone lines are open, people. If you want to call in, numbers right up there on the top of your screen. So don't be afraid. Call in, tell us what you think. Do you think Canelo's team are making a mistake by speaking all this ra 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 Mexico viva la raza stuff, or are they just talking the talk for the moment to get their names out there? We don't know because Canelo doesn't really need to do that. But here's my question, Butch. I want to ask you, man. Who would you rather see Canelo fight right now? I don't think I've ever asked you. Like
Callum
right now,
Smith.
Callum Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. Winner of the World Boxing Super Series. 6'3", I think. Right?
Mm-hmm.
6'4" probably.
Probably 6'4". I saw a picture of him next to Chisora. They're the same height, man. I think he was a little bit bigger. Callum Smith was a little bit bigger. He has power. I know sometimes Callum Smith, he's a little bit like Billy Joe Saunders. His performances sometimes are crappy, but when it counts, he steps it up, man. And I think he's a very dangerous challenge for Canelo. I want to see that fight.
I think he's suffering at 68. He's just too big. That 75 is better suited for his body size. And he's just coming in dehydrated, like in his last performance against John Ryder.
Yeah,
And that guy mentioning that style, he's a kind of come forward guy that throws a lot of punches, a brawler. So, but Canelo's not traditionally your type of brawler Mexican style that he was for, but he certainly can do that. He showed it in the second Golovkin fight, and I think that just would be a hard fight for Callum because he wouldn't give him the opportunity to get the range to throw his mid-range hooks and generate power.
he's gonna get stopped
That's
like
where he generates his power. What's
he's
that?
gonna get stopped like Rocky Fielding.
You never know, man. You never. I would like to see if Callum Smith could actually keep Canelo away from him, because I guarantee you that's what Canelo would try. He would try to fight him the way he did with Kovalev, and I don't know if Liam Smith can actually break through that guard with his shots. He certainly looked powerful against Hassan Andam and George Groves, but those guys fight with their hands down. Whereas you saw what a guy like John Ryder was able to do with a nice high guard, and he didn't get stopped. So I don't know if Canelo would as well. That's why I want to see Canelo either against. These are my top three, man. I would rather not see him against Golovkin. Binder done that. I wanna, but of course that would be the best action fight at a high level, I believe. But I would rather see him fight either Andrade. Well, Billy Joe Saunders first, Andrade, or Charlo. And by the way, check out the film analysis we did over at BDA Live with Recognize, with Gonzalo, with Bucho, and myself, where we were analyzing Andrade and his strengths and weaknesses. The first episode just dropped in. It's about his strengths. The next one's going to be about his weaknesses. And the next one is about Charlo. And we're going to analyze the Cobra fight and whether, who did better, Andrade or Charlo. And based on that, who deserves or who has a better chance to beat Canelo. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the answers that we come up. But, yeah, okay, so
Hey,
Bucho was...
in the chat says, "What about Chris Eubank Jr.?"
Thought he was supposed to fight Charlo.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
supposed to fight. Yeah, man, that would have been a fucking good one. Because Chris Eubank, what I like about Chris Eubank, watching him fight, right? I don't like him personally, obviously, because he's a bit of an egomaniac. But you know, he does have that ego, so it's always fun to see him fight some body, and when he loses, sort of like takes him down a peg or a little bit. But he's an interesting fighter, man. I like his style. He's got good hand speed, but he doesn't really know how to box. He's an inside fighter. He's got some wicked uppercuts. Him and Canelo, it would be a phone booth fight, and I would really like to see that one. That would be interesting to watch. That's why I wanted to see Eubank versus Lemieux. That would have been a good one too. But the Charlo fight, that would have been. And you know what? Hey, Eubank dodged a bullet when Kobrov pulled a groin muscle. Or what did he pull again? Was it shoulder muscle?
That's right. Yeah.
It was a
Shoulder
groin muscle, or it was a
Similar
shoulder
to
thing?
Ryan Burnett.
Well, hold
The
on.
Ryan Burnett injury.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? All right. Well, it actually does matter.
It was a back injury, I believe.
Back injury. Okay.
But how
Well-
old is the guy? I mean, I don't think Korobov has another performance like that one he had against Charlo. I think that was just Charlo not being himself.
Well,
Yeah.
he got robbed. The fight after that, he got robbed. That would have been a great fight between Korobov and, as I was watching, it was.
Fat Charlo's ducking Derevchenko. That's all I know.
Hey, that's the
That's
thing,
all I
man.
know.
Derevchenko just goes to show you how they didn't have him scheduled for anything. The PBC, that is, after the Golovkin fight. I mean, here you have a guy that went to war with Golovkin. Some people feel he won. And instead of
Yeah.
promoting him as the guy that beat Golovkin or whatever, now they kept him on the back burner. And now this whole COVID thing has delayed everything. And it's a mess now with the PBC, man.
Yeah, the PBC was already set up for a shit schedule they were already set for a shit lineup of fights before the fucking virus even came. So now it's going to be even worse because that's what they do. Al Heyman told you already before the virus even hit. We have no intention of making Plant Benavides this year. We're gonna try to milk it just like we did with Charlo and Hurd. Then somebody's gonna get their ass beat, and you're not gonna have a fight no more. That's what's gonna happen.
That's
Are you
right.
saying
But at the same time,
Are you saying Al Heyman released the virus?
I'm saying
But-
all I know is Lomachenko went back in time and killed Jack Johnson. That's all. It's all his fault.
but if you want to stay in business and your business has been put on the back burner because there's no fights, wouldn't you want to make things happen quickly? You know, or
That's
like
what I was
condense
thinking.
all the fights that you didn't make happen like in the latter part of the year.
That's my theory, that we're gonna get all these great fights now because they're gonna be desperate. These promoters, all these fighters, they're gonna be desperate for a big payday. And how do you get a big payday? Well, fight the best.
I think it's gonna happen like this. Look, there's fighters that are staying active in the gym right now. Not everybody, but there's some that are just gym rats that have their own gyms in their houses, and there's nothing to do. They're staying. They're concentrated, working out and training. So the guys that are ready, they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna call them up. Who's been training? This thing is over all of a sudden. When that day comes, and the guys that are semi-prepared, okay, you're gonna fight in 2 weeks. Now, who's around his weight from this side of the promotion, from Golden Boy or Top Rank that can fight, or 2 in-house fighters? Who's ready? And the 2 fighters that are ready, that have been staying concentrated, are the guys that are gonna come out first. So it kind of behooves fighters to, and I think some of these guys know that this shit could just end all of a sudden. So the guys that are ready, because if you wait and say, okay, you're taking your time, I haven't been training, I've been being lazy, and then all of a sudden we don't know what it is, but it does end, then you start camp, then you have to wait fucking 8 weeks to 8 or 10 weeks till you get called.
Those are very
So
good
the
points.
guys that are, yeah,
Those are very good points. But the problem is also, man, some of these guys are staying in shape, but they're not sparring. And I don't know how many of these guys are going to want to go into the ring with just 2 weeks of sparring. You know what I mean? By the way, before we continue, before we get back to the point, we already got phone calls here. So let's go to 559. You're on the air. 559.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say, Canelo has been saying he didn't want to fight Mexicans for. I think the first time I heard him say was a couple of years ago. He just apparently he said he wanted as many Mexicans to have as many belts as they can and all this shit. But even then, I don't really think there's any Mexicans for him to fight other than, I mean, maybe Ramirez if he goes up. But I mean, Munguia. If he fought Munguia, all that would happen is what fucking Mayweather did to Canelo. You know, he's fucking 22 or 23 years old, so he's way too green. Benavidez is only 21 or 22 also. I think that's the only big fight. And then Ramirez, I don't think he's gonna go back to 175. I mean, fucking Canelo's 5'9". I think Ramirez is 6'2". That's just too much for him. I don't think he would really do it.
Yeah, this whole thing about I wanna see as many Mexicans prosper. All right, if they're outside of your division, fine. But to say that you don't want to fight them because you want to see them succeed, you should be fighting the best, not worrying about how many Mexicans you fought. Oh, hey, listen, I fought a guy from Uganda. Okay, a guy from Indonesia is next. Fuck that. That's not how the way it works. But let me ask you, who would you rather see Canelo fight right now?
Well, I was thinking about that, but I don't think there's anybody at 160 that's gonna beat Canelo. I mean, every time that there's an announcement that Canelo might fight somebody, everybody says, "Oh, he's taking that fight because he knows he can beat him." Well, who the fuck is there that Canelo wouldn't beat at 160? Charlo ain't shit. Let's be Charlo ain't shit. Andrade, fucking Joshua Greer made millions selling his fucking pillows at Boo Boo's fight. I mean, he puts everybody to sleep. And there's Triple G. There's Triple G, and he's a little older. I mean, he could still beat him, I guess, but he's a little older. And then who the fuck else? Munguia, well, that ain't gonna happen. That would be.
I might have to agree with.
And then if you go,
I might have to agree with the caller, bro. I don't
168
see anybody beating Canelo at 160 right now. Nobody.
Well, Canelo already said he will not go back. He will only go back down to 160 if he fights Golovkin, which he will, and then that's it. He's not gonna stay at 160.
Yeah, at 68's the best.
I thought he
just looks a lot bigger now.
didn't Golovkin want to try 168.
I think I remember hearing him. I mean, he did fight Rolls Royce at a catchweight, I believe, which was over the 160-pound limit. I would rather, you know what? People say, well, he would be the favorite against all these guys, and it's true. But there's some that would give him a better fight or would stand a better chance at defeating him. And nobody's invincible. We've already seen Canelo lost before. It's not like he's a monster or anything. I mean, he's a very difficult fighter right now. Maybe perhaps the best fighter in the world. But there's plenty of options out there to make for entertaining fights and interesting fights, compelling ones. So, but it's true, like the caller said, it's no matter who he fights, there's always going to be people. He's the biggest name in boxing right now. So no matter who he fights, there's always going to be somebody saying, this is a bad fight. He should fight this guy. He should fight that guy. And some people are never going to be pleased. But you can't please everybody, otherwise you become a whore, and you don't want to be a whore. Trust me. Listen, caller.
I think you said it well, BDA. Sorry.
I know I said it well. You don't have to tell me I said it well. I know I said it well.
He's a difficult fighter. He's a difficult fighter, but he's not really dangerous because he's not really like a big puncher at 75 or 68. He's a good puncher, particularly to the body, but he's not a dangerous, like, I'm going to knock you out with one shot.
Exactly.
So everybody in there would be able to, like, maybe go toe-to-toe with him for a while and be a matter of who got the best skills.
That's a good point. Now, caller, we're going to move on, but anything else you want to say before we let you
go? There was something, but I forgot. I'll call back if I remember.
Yeah. Call back. We still got a lot of time.
All
right. Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
BDA, if I may, real quickly. Hey, you dudes in the chat, there's 82 people in here and there's 28 likes. Hit the fucking like button, you mongoloids.
That's
Bunch
right.
of Jaime mongoloids in the chat right now.
Okay. Yeah, hit the like button.
You dudes got six. You dudes got 6 fingers like Danny Garcia's got toes, and you still can't hit the like. Come on.
I will reiterate what Johnny Boy said, but without the insults. How about that? Let's compromise on that one. All right, we got another call. 818. You're on the air. 818.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? It's Raider from LA.
Oh,
How's it
good to have you on board, man.
Hey, what's up? I'm new to your channel, man. So I heard you guys talking about what Canelo's saying, or Canelo's trainer saying that they don't want to fight any Mexicans.
Mhm.
Well, let's see if that's a valid point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just like the other caller said, what Mexican can fight Canelo right now that's gonna benefit Canelo? Munguia, you guys know that he's not even there yet. He's not nowhere near Canelo's level. Ramirez fighting at 175. Canelo's not campaigning at 175, and he doesn't have a belt. The only one that would be beneficial would probably be Benavides. Benavides has a WBC at 168. But I would like to see Canelo fight other competition instead of those guys. I mean, you know what I mean? There's a lot of other players that are better than these guys. And also, what would benefit him? Canelo wants to get belts right now. I wouldn't mind seeing him go down on 160 and snatching up those belts and being undisputed, getting Triple G and Andrade, and then coming up to 168 and then getting those belts up there.
Yeah,
but,
you make a good
I
point.
mean, I don't see anything wrong with him saying that, because I mean, it has a valid point. I mean, there's nobody besides maybe Benavides that's gonna be beneficial for Canelo fighting.
Yeah, you know what? The problem really wasn't, because I agree, man. I agree with you. It's. I would rather see him take on some of the guys like Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders, or even Golovkin, who have beaten better opposition and have earned a shot at 160, the 160 version of Canelo. But the problem was the way Eddy Reynoso said it, because he didn't just say, "Oh, those three guys don't really have much to offer." He says, "We don't want to fight any Mexicans right now. We want to fight people from other countries," and it makes it look bad, because it makes it seem as if he's saying, "Oh, listen, we want to keep the Mexicans out of here. We want a unity, you know, and we want to stay nationalistic." But like you said too, and I said this at the beginning of the show, Reynoso's the one saying that, not Canelo. And maybe Canelo, in less than a year, he ends up fighting a Mexican. So people talk, but what the most important thing is who they actually fight. And Canelo fights everybody. He doesn't duck anybody. So, but let me ask you this question. Who would you want to see him fight? Out of all the guys out there, from whether it's 160 or even 175, who's the one guy that you say, you know what, this is the fight I would pay for right now?
I want to see him fight Charlo, and that's a tune-up fight for Canelo.
Oh.
The only reason I want to see that is so they can shut up all the Charlo fans, because Charlo is okay. Charlo has 5 fights at 160, same as Andrade. They both have horrible resumes at 160. Horrible. They're fighting empty Bud Light cans. They're you know what I mean? They're basically grabbing nobodies and picking the best nobody they can find. The best for resume for Charlo was probably Korobov, and a lot of people had Korobov winning that fight. He brought up Adams from 154, brought up Hogan 154, and they were, you know, it just, that's not, come on. That's not a good resume. Andrade too. Andrade fought nobody. Selecki, it was all right, whatever. Not an elite fighter. Keeler, who the hell is Keeler? I mean, that's trash resume. They need to fight each other, because that way we can know who is a good fighter. We can't gauge them yet because they haven't fought any high level competition yet.
So you said
that determines who really deserves their
I
shot.
think one
at
of the other
guy.
guys said Derenchenko. They can fight Derenchenko. Fight somebody, you know, and then we can kind of gauge them a little bit better.
Yeah, man. Listen, the Charlo fight.
Fight those guys just so he can grab that belt.
The Charlo fight would be fantastic, just for the drama that would ensue here in the boxing community, on the YouTube boxing community. I mean, that one would. I'd be doing a show every day just for that one. All right, listen. 818. We gotta.
That's a big fight. Yeah. That's a big fight. That's a big fight. I mean, but it's come on, for everybody who knows boxing knows that that's a tune-up fight for Canelo. Canelo's knocking motherfuckers out at 175. You know, Kovalev. Maybe he's a little older, but I mean, still he was a top 3 lightweight at the time of the fight. So I don't want to hear any of those excuses from anybody else. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we'll see, man. Once this whole thing clears up, we'll see who he fights, and hopefully it's someone good, and hopefully it makes for a good fight. Listen, we're gonna move on to another phone
Yeah,
call.
it's gonna be somebody good.
Well, hopefully. Listen, 818,
All right.
thank you for calling in, man. We're gonna move on to another phone call, but call back next time, all right, man?
For sure. Thank you very much.
Thank
guys
you, man.
take
Good
care.
call.
Later.
Take care, man. Later.
All right, later.
All right, we got another phone call real quick. Hold on a second. 917. You're on the air. 917.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Good, man. Good to have you on board. What's on your mind?
Oh man, so I think what Eddy Reynoso said, it's better left unsaid because I think it's not a good look. Because like they're making it seem like we don't want to fight another Mexican because we're patriotic and all that. But clearly that's not the reason. They don't want to fight another Mexican because all the Mexican fighters right now around his weight class are too dangerous for Canelo. Like there's too much risk and no reward. You know, I want to see him fight David Benavidez. That would be a good competition for him. You know, but obviously they don't. I don't think that they want to risk him possibly looking bad. So you know, if that's the case, just you're better off not saying anything. You know, because everyone could see past it. Like, who are you really kidding? You're not gonna fight him because he's from your country. Like, that's not the reason. You don't. It's not that you don't want to fight Mexicans. You don't want to fight good Mexicans.
I don't know if Canelo, you make the good point that maybe the reason why he said that is not to say, oh, listen, there's no good Mexicans right now. Maybe that was their little tactic of trying to stay neutral, saying something without badmouthing the other guys. But Canelo does not shy away from a challenge. I mean, this guy will fight anybody. So I don't think he's necessarily afraid of those guys. But you might be right that the fact, well, like, why would he fight? Like the last caller said, those guys don't necessarily have the best resumes out there. So like you said, it's high risk, low reward, especially the Benavidez fight. Ooh, that's the one that
I think Canelo himself, he's not afraid of anybody. He'll fight anyone, but it's the people around him, his trainers. I think the fighter himself, he'll do it. He's not afraid. But like his management, and they're treating him like he's a piece of money making machine, and he can't really risk looking bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think him at 168 versus Benavidez, or like even Gilberto Ramirez. But in my opinion, he went up to 175 only to take the weakest link. He'll never fight, Gilberto Ramirez. No. He wouldn't fight Beterbiev. If he's gonna go to 175, he's gonna go for the weakest link. But at 168, go for David Benavidez. Or if you could knock out Caleb Plant, go fight him. Or 160, take on Demetrius Andre.
Yeah, listen, De La Hoya, I think he's the main one. Maybe other people, the brains trust of Golden Boy Promotions, they've always tried to keep Canelo. They're terrified of him losing another fight. They think that if he loses, it's the end of the world. But look, he had that mediocre showing against Golovkin the first time. It didn't hurt him. He came back and he beat Golovkin. He lost to Mayweather. He came back from that. So they also wanted to keep him away from Austin Trout back in the day. They wanted to keep him away from Lara, and Canelo just goes ahead and beats and fights them and beats them. So I think that they should keep an open mind and say, you know what, Canelo's the best. He's never gonna, unless he fucking does something to completely embarrass himself in the ring, he's never really gonna lose that much luster. He's the biggest name in boxing right now, so he should be taking risks.
I agree. That's why I think as boxing fans, these promoters are preventing us from seeing the truly good fights that real boxing fans would love to see. But unfortunately, that's just the business end of it, and we just have to live with it, though. But I really hope they pick a worthy opponent for him. I was looking forward to Saunders. I thought that would be a decent fight, an entertaining fight. But he has to go and do some stupid stuff. But yeah.
Well, so
Golden Boy, for the sake of the fans, make good matches for him.
So which one's the fight that you would want to see?
Someone who he's gonna knock out. Sorry?
What's the fight? What's the fight that you want to see Canelo next in?
Oh, okay. At 168, David Benavidez. At 160, Demetrius Andre.
All right, yeah, and you're gonna give the repeat.
Andrade.
Yeah, he's asking.
Why?
Butch is asking you why Andrade.
Okay, because if we look at the interesting fights that he's had in the past, right? He has trouble against movers, guys like Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, and who was Lara, right? People who box and move, and that's why I always thought him versus Billy Joe Saunders would be interesting. And Android has a similar style, he's slippery, he knows how to box and move. He'll give Canelo, a challenge, because if Lara made him look pretty bad, he lost to Floyd. We know this is style that Canelo would have to work hard for, instead of somebody who's there right in front of him for him to get knocked out of. So I want to see him fight somebody like that, someone of that style.
Well, listen, let me tell you this, man. Go check out BDA Live or secondary channel where we post our film analysis. The first fight we already uploaded there. It's about Andrade's strengths. So you're gonna see your points in there, but then wait for the second part where we talk about his weaknesses, and you might change your mind about how Andrade does against Canelo. But I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll let you watch the first part. All right, listen. We're gonna move on, but thank you for calling in, and call back next time. All right, man.
All right, thank you for having me. Right,
You're welcome, and thank you for calling. Take it easy. All right. All right. So, what do you guys think? I mean, we got two different points of views from. I mean, various different points of views from the call. Some people believe Canelo is never going to get credit for whoever he beats because of the fact that he's a favorite and that there might be some things going his way even before the fight starts. Other people believe that the Mexicans aren't there to pose a challenge. The last caller said that he would rather see him fight Andrade because of the defense. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'll just go first, real quick. Canelo beats everybody at 160. I don't care if they're fucking Mexican, Puerto Rican, black, Italian, Irish, or whatever. Doesn't matter. He beats everybody. He beats everybody at 160 right now, in my opinion. 168 he could go fight at, but them dudes need to be fighting each other first and proving their worth. He should have just stuck around at 175 and tried unifying. Is what he should have done. But what did he do? He moved up, fought the weakest guy with the belt, who's shot, dropped the belt immediately, and went back down. That's what should have happened. He should have kept that belt and tried to unify with Bivol instead of trying to weight drain him down to 168 pounds. That's what he should have done.
Any fight with Canelo's entertaining because he's pretty well-rounded guy. That if he faces a puncher, we know he has the chin. If he faces a boxer, he's got the counter-punching boxer abilities, right? To fight that style. The only problem that I saw with him was his stamina, but seemingly it's been improving, apparently. So that'd be interesting, against another southpaw like Austin Trout and Erislandy Lara that he had trouble with, that he faced Andrade, to see how that goes for him. But one thing with Canelo that I have to say, the stamina. The one thing that he has to face is like Juan Manuel Marquez at fighters around his age, like in the 30 age category, not older than 35 for sure.
By the way, hold on. Jason Bourne, thank you for your contribution. He says Canelo is a new Floyd and his fans are the new Flomos called Canelitas. Thank you for your contribution. G Boogie, also, he says, how is it going? What's up, G Boogie? Also, Recognize the Matrix is on the line. Recognize, what's up?
What up? What up?
Discussing Eddy Reynoso's comments. He's saying that Canelo is not interested in fighting Mexicans. So that includes Munguia, Gilberto Ramirez, who's at 175, and David Benavides.
You know what they all have in common?
What?
They all look Mexican.
Dude, Chapo Reynoso looks like a gremlin, a little Mexican gremlin. That would just lurk out of the fucking darkness and stab you with a pair of scissors, just like LaQuisha Mayweather did, or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Dude, if you take one look at that ugly fuck, if you could trust that thing for half a second, you have no fucking brain. Okay. Don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. It's all lies.
Gremlin with water.
Yeah. I don't eat ramen with water. I eat it fucking cooked out of the package.
I'm interested how he feels about his other fighters now that he's like very popular. He's got a full stable about his other guys fighting. I think Oscar Valdez is going to fight Burchell. None of the other guys have been fighting Mexicans either. Maybe that Rey Martinez, the little guy, because there's not too many. Well, there's many fighters from different nationalities.
Let me ask why he doesn't. Why is his reasons like he doesn't want to fight Mexicans? What did they say?
Well, he broke it down like one by one. So he went to Munguia. He's like, well, Munguia is not ready. He's too green. Okay. Then
I might agree with him on that. Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah. One. Then he talked about Gilberto Ramirez, who's at 175 now.
Right.
And that he's too inactive. He's been inactive.
He's taking a lot of time off.
That's bullshit.
Got married.
What's that mean?
That's bullshit.
He was in close fights, recognized with Jesse Hart. Then who did he? This other guy, short guy. He beat. I think he broke his rib last performance, but he's only fought like 2 times in 2 years. Really nice.
Yeah, but that's still bullshit. That's not the reason why he doesn't want to fight him, in my opinion. But that's the reason he gave. It's not because they're Mexicans, right?
Well, listen to this one. Recognize. Then when he mentioned David Benavidez, he says, "Oh, he should fight Gilberto Ramirez."
Right. So he's like a little like he's trying to do like the Floyd thing.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this dude loves Floyd. I tell people this. He loves Floyd. He copied his style, everything.
Yeah, you know how he's a...
Yo. They're trying to make up some excuse for him to cherry pick one of the bum-ass Mexican cats that ain't even fought nobody yet. That's what it is, bro. Let's keep it a buck now. Come on.
You see, like, all those fights are interesting, man. I wouldn't mind him fighting. I know a lot of people had something to say about that, but Ryota Murata is a good fight. The guy in Japan. The Callum Smith fight, that used to be like really interesting. It's not so. Yeah.
I give him the pass for Munguia, right? Munguia is a little green, and he's been looking like
a little.
Like he's regressing instead of getting better. But
I thought he improved in his last fight, just a little bit. Did the very last, but the last
I would give Reynoso credit on that. Like I think that Canelo could win that fight easy, like definitely on points. Like he'll win it easily. You know.
Yeah, he's too hittable. That one caller or 2 calls ago made a good point that it would be like Floyd fighting.
Well, Benavidez and Canelo. Ramirez, Benavidez and Ramirez will give him problems, 100%.
I think Benavidez most of all because of his explosiveness,
he's more active.
Just his size.
He's been active.
Yep. Boxer puncher goes well down and upstairs.
He's with the PBC. So I don't know. Maybe Reynoso should have said something about that. Like, hey, listen, he's with the PBC.
Yeah, that would have been better. That, like, if he would have said, look, you know, Al Heyman and the PBC, that could be a little difficult to deal with. So, you know, we're interested in that fight, but not the headache. And Ramirez, you know, I don't look. His comments are not that terrible, but the one thing I disagree with is they got to fight each other thing. Like. In a way, he's right, but at the same time, it's like, no, I'm just not interested in fighting those dudes right now. How about that? It's like, not right now.
Why,
you know?
Exactly. Why can Canelo just say, you know what, these guys, I'm not interested in these guys right now? Why does he have to make it like into a Mexican thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I want to take care of business with Triple G. Just say that. Look, I want to take care of business with Triple G. Once I'm done with that, then we'll talk about other stuff.
Yeah, and to be fair, like Benavidez, he's a Mexican American.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks mixed too.
Yeah, he's half Ecuadorian and mother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's Ecuadorian too.
Are we talking about Andrade?
There was no point in making that comment.
Are we talking about Andrade?
No,
Jose Benavidez.
Benavidez.
David Benavidez.
I don't think he's interested in fighting Andrade. I don't think he cares about that fight.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man. All right, listen. Let's move.
He's training though. That I can tell you for sure. Canelo's active in the gym right now.
I'm pretty sure he is, man. He's got he's got the supplements to keep going. Okay, 6-1. We got a phone call here. 619. You're on the air. 619.
What's up? What's up, guys? This is Jose. How you doing?
Good, man. Good to have you on board. What's on your mind?
No, I just recall that I think Canelo said he doesn't want to fight any more Mexicans after he beat up Angulo. I think it was just simply a thing where he didn't want to like beat up his fellow countrymen. After that, I think he fought Julio Cesar Chavez, but I think that was the exception because of their rivalry. But I kind of remember that it was just like a Mexican thing. He didn't want to beat up his fellow countrymen.
Well, that's that. You know
So
what? You
that's
get paid for to do that. You know, you get paid. Could you imagine if Deontay Wilder said that? Hey, I don't want to face any
I don't
African
want to beat up
Americans.
Africans. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to face any brothers.
I don't want to give.
Barrera told
I don't want to
Morales,
give.
I don't want to fight you.
I don't want to give black guys big paydays. Nah, man.
Exactly.
I'm not cool with that.
Now, there's something fishy with those comments. Caller, what do you think about the comments? Do you think he was? Do you think he's because first of all,
Well-
Canelo didn't say it. By the way, it was his trainer. So, what do you think this is all about?
Well, I basically attribute that just for me objectively thinking about that is that Canelo he's like a superstar, right? So all his fights are gonna be, handpicked opponents, basically. Well, not handpicked, but all his fights are like high profile fights. So just having said that, he has from where to choose. He has people to pick from, so he's not gonna. It just basically boils down to that. I think he would rather beat up somebody else that is not a Mexican because I picked up from that.
He's a Mexican
It is what it is,
nationalist.
man.
Jose, when you met Eddy Reynoso, how did he come off to you?
Oh, wait a minute. Is this your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. This is Gonzalo's brother, everybody.
shit.
Just to.
We just talking about you too.
What's up, Hermanos? How you
But,
doing,
guys,
man?
but let's remember
When
man,
you met
let's remember-
Reynoso, how did he
well,
come off to you? Was he a cool cat?
Was he?
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, he was cool. But here's the thing, man. I'm not trying to be biased or racist here, but Mexicans, I mean, stick together. As far as Mexicans support each other, right? So to me, that you can't compare like I guess Floyd did the same thing, right? But maybe for different reasons. But to me, basically Canelo, he probably thinks he could beat these other fellow countrymen, so he just doesn't want to beat them up.
But that makes no sense, man.
Those other Mexicans are gonna dial it up. They're like, "Yo, fuck all that Mexican shit. I want to fight
You want a payday?
Yeah, that's it. You get in the
Okay.
ring, or
Yeah,
you gonna,
but it is
or
what
I'm
it
gonna
is,
call
man.
you out.
It is what it is. And I mean,
And Mexicans are also like haters within their own race. Maybe he don't want to pass the torch or lose to another Mexican where the other guy gets the superstardom.
But let me just ask. Jose, just to be clear, you're explaining the situation. You're not justifying the fact that he doesn't want to fight other Mexicans.
yeah, exactly. I explain things from what I can understand. I'm nobody to justify anything. I'm just objectively explaining what I understand or what I perceive, to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do for everything. I mean, I'm not like a fan or I don't support I don't have my own biases. I just I basically that's why I called in because that's what I remember was the case.
Mm-hmm.
So since you guys were talking about that, I figured I tell you guys.
Let me say one thing real quick, bro. There's no Mexicans in and around Canelo's weight class that have proven anything to even be in the ring with him in the fucking first place, bro. Benavidez
that's
needs
what I
to go
mentioned,
fight
Johnny.
somebody before we even start talking about that, bro.
Because historically, there hasn't really been any Mexican fighters in these weight divisions. 100. Chavez at 60.
I know, Gonzalo, but what I'm saying, I know that, Gonzalo. You're right. You're 1,000% right. There, the classic Mexican fighters are lightweights and bantamweights and feather. But my point is, bro, let one of these guys beat a live body, and then you can start matching him. Talk about matching him with Canelo. Like I say, bro. Charlo and Andrade should be fight. Okay, winner of that, you've proved your worth. You're beating somebody. Okay, now you can fight Canelo. Plant Benavidez, same thing. You two fight, prove your worth. Now you can get a crack at the guy. Instead of just let's just take fucking Acne Benavidez, who hasn't fought nobody yet, and throw him. No.
All right.
Yeah, but the problem with Canelo is that there's no big fights at 168. Maybe what's the kid from the big 6'3", Callum Smith, maybe him, and that's a dangerous fight for him. He's looking at that fight like, fuck, bro, this dude's 6'3". You know, like
I think Callum Smith, like I mentioned, recognized for one, he's a little dehydrated at 68. He's like 6'3", whatnot. And
I agree.
Also, when you pressure him,
But what if he comes in
you
strong?
take away the ability.
What if he comes in strong? That's what they're thinking. Listen, make no mistake about it.
He's a dangerous puncher, but he needs space to punch.
Canelo's trying to make sure he doesn't lose another fight. It's not that he doesn't have skills. He does. It's just that he's in a money. He thinks that the money he's making will get hurt if he takes a loss. So he wants to continue that pace as long as he's boxing, right? And that's what he wants to do. What he's worried about is what if our game plan doesn't work? That we think that he's going to come in dehydrated, and this motherfucker comes in strong. You know what's going to happen if he comes in strong, right? Canelo's going to have a fucking long fight, okay? And he's probably not looking for that right now, okay? It could be many reasons. It could be his knee. It could be that he's getting tired a little bit. It could be many reasons, right? So he doesn't have a big fight at 168.
This is the thing. This is the thing, bro. Canelo's money fights are at 160 and 175. There's nobody at 168, dog. There's nobody. They haven't done nothing yet.
He could fight Ryota Murata. That's why I said Murata 60 or 68, Johnny?
68, I said. That's why I said he should have just stayed up there and fought Bivol at 175 instead of weight drinking. Because if you're really a Canelo fan, you know that if Bivol goes down to 168 and Canelo beats him, everybody's going to say, oh, he was weight trained. You should have fought him at 175 while you had his strap, bro. That's it.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to keep Jose on the line, but we got another call here.
Hello.
So
yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
I just want to add one more point, and then I'll hang up.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I got to go. Well, if you think about it, I could make the connection too. When he fought Chavez, did you really think he wasn't able to knock him out? I think if he really wanted to, he could have. But I think he had a pity for him because of his dad and because he was Mexican. So if he puts that
didn't he say that?
Together with what I said before, you know, that should say something. But anyways, I'm out.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take it easy. I don't think he did. I think he couldn't take him out because
thank you. I don't believe none of that stuff. When it comes to Canelo, I'm sorry. Call me a hater. No, he does everything with an intention to look good. He couldn't stop him. That's all.
Well, he can't. I don't know. He does respect Chavez Sr., but then who doesn't, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, listen. We got another caller. 818. You're on the line. 818 on the air, rather.
Hey, Mr. BDA. How's it going? Muscle Memory.
Oh, Muscle Memory. Thank you for being on, man. What's on your mind?
Well, first things first, what's up to Johnny Boy, to Matrix, and to Gonzalo? So far, that's who I heard on the line. So what's up to you guys?
What's up with Bucho, though? No love for Bucho?
That's right.
Oh, I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
No. It's too late, man.
Go ahead.
Right.
Maybe it's a Mexican thing like Reynoso.
Go ahead, Muscle Memory.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So we're discussing Canelo. One quick thing with Johnny Boy when he's mentioning Bivol. I think Bivol agrees to fight Canelo at 168, although I still don't see Canelo fighting Bivol at 168, unfortunately. The thing with Canelo is it's kind of easy to dissect his resume for, like, let's say, quote-unquote haters, is because other than Danny Jacobs, like, the championship fights he's been in hasn't been with anybody that isn't quote-unquote shot or past their prime. You could go back to Cotto, or, you know, who has he beat, like, a relevant champion definitively from 160 to 175. I think that's why it's easy to pinpoint and, break apart like his resume. Other than like Danny Jacobs, I think personally that's like the only fight, which was a snooze fest that he won clearly against a prime champion, who like a deserving prime champion, like a legitimate full champion who won his belt, beating another top guy in Derevchenko.
I'm gonna
easy to
disagree with
say.
that a little bit.
All right, hold on.
If
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
believe that he really beat Kovalev legit, that's a big win, bro. Like if you really feel in your heart that was authentic, you can't deny that. That's a huge win. I mean, Kovalev's been the top guy at light heavyweight for like almost 10 years.
Can I respond to the caller on one thing real quick? What I was making the comparison with Bivol is, what I was saying was, bro, he should have fought him at 175. Why? They both had titles. Because if you're a fan of Canelo, you know a storm of motherfuckers is going to come and say, well, Canelo weight drained Bivol at 168. So if you're a real fan of him, you should have had him, wanted him to fight at 175. So there's no excuses. And let me say this right now. I don't give a flying fuck about Dimitri Bivol either. As far as see everybody in the chat's on his dick, I don't care about Bivol. To me, he's boring as shit. So I don't have a race in the horse in that fight either.
Muscle memory.
I would say it to Marshall Ministry. It's easier to discredit and single out. Oh well, Canelo hasn't decisively beat anybody. But if you look at the guys at 60, when Jacobs prior to the Canelo fight, he fought 4 undefeated fighters, and he went. You could say life and death. They were close fights. He won. He edged those 4 fights out by the bare minimum, but he won them. So credit to Jacobs. He went out to fight Canelo himself, and he lost decisively, maybe 8-4. And what is it, Derevchenko? He lost 2 title opportunities at 60, and Golovkin in his major fights against Derevchenko, and the 2 times against Canelo, and the 1 Jacobs fight, they were close fights too. So nobody's really standing out to where they're really making a statement at 160 at least. Now,
Right,
68 and 75. Yeah,
his only dominant win was in terms of how it ended was Kovalev. That was.
You tell me one dominant fighter at 60, including Triple G, that has been making statements.
60 is a little different. 60 is loaded. A lot of people like to shit on 60, but the fighters that he did fight were, forget the 155 shit. That's like, it's just stupid. But when he fought Golovkin, it's just dumb. That's not a middleweight fight, bro. He didn't fight no middleweight. He fought Cotto and what the fuck, Khan. So when he fought Golovkin and Danny Jacobs, you're talking about 1 and 2 before he got there. You know what I'm saying? So he's fighting the number 1 guy and the number 2 guy, and he gets into fights where he's not dominant. The Jacobs fight, he clearly won in my opinion, but he wasn't like fucking. It wasn't a domination. It was just he outboxed him. But that I'm not surprised by that, because those are good fighters. Those are very good fighters, and maybe if it was another time, they probably beat Canelo, the 2 guys that he fought at middleweight. And then he goes up to 168. Okay, he fights Rocky Fielding, a guy who's a nobody. And then he goes up to light heavyweight, and he knocks out he knocks out Kovalev. So it's true what Johnny Boy says. If he knocked out Kovalev, why didn't he just stay there, fight Bivol, right? Because they're talking about the fight. And Bivol's like, hey, look, I'm willing to go to 168, which tells me that Canelo's probably telling them, look, I'm only interested in that fight at 168. All right, so it's like, it is shaky. Dude, you went up there, you beat 175-pound Kovalev. If we're to believe that, he can knock out Kovalev at 175 pounds, then he can at least give fucking Bivol a big fight.
All right.
Yeah, Bivol had already mentioned that he was planning on maybe going back down. No, not back, but going to 168. And maybe he's also saying that because he knows that he has a better chance of getting that Canelo fight if he moves down in weight. So that might be just Bivol himself, trying to entice Canelo into a fight. I don't know.
Well, muscle memory, what do you think about that? Oh, did he hang up? Yeah, he hung up. What the fuck? All right, hold on. I think I got him back on that. Muscle memory, are you back?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I think the call got dropped.
Well, listen, people have different points of view on Canelo. Some like recognize saying he should have stayed at 175, but he doesn't want any part of Bivol or even Beterbiev. Other people want to see him fight 160, finally get the job done, clear the division. Who I'm going to ask you what I've been asking everybody. Who do you want to see him fight next?
Beterbiev.
So can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gone. All right. Who I would like to see Canelo fight? I think it's all wishful thinking. I think the Billy Joe Saunders fight was a good fight because that was a legitimate champion at 160 who moved up to 168. And I agree with Johnny when he's talking about the other champions at 168. I would rather see the other three guys unify because super middleweight's been like a sad situation for a while. They haven't had a unification since I think January 2017. Since the Badu Jack fight with I forgot his name, James DeGale. I think that was the last time that division had a unification fight. Yeah.
The best part of that fight.
I think Billy Joe Saunders was going to be a good fight.
Yeah, man, it could have been.
But
the best
I would
part.
like to see him. Yeah. I would have liked to see him fight Bivol, whether it's at 168 or 175. I knew he was going to drop the title and book 175. Didn't see him getting in the ring with Gvozdyk or Beterbiev. But I would also like to see him fight Gilberto Ramirez. Although, again, 3 years ago, if you told me about that fight, I would have said, okay, that's never going to happen. One guy looks too big for 168, and the other guy's like not fighting anybody at 160 before Golovkin. So now now that fight's all of a sudden relevant. But again, I don't see it happening. Would be nice, but I guess so far those are the guys: Bivol, Billy Joe Saunders, Gilberto Ramirez for me.
All right, those are pretty good picks right there.
The thing with Canelo is at least whatever we get with Canelo, it's still entertaining. Unlike Mayweather, at least he's entertaining to watch in the ring, regardless of who he fights.
Now, wait a minute. Yeah, you got a good point there. You got a good point. Listen, Muscle, thank you for calling in. We're gonna move on to the next call. By the way, are you still uploading fights or?
Yeah, planning. Since I came back late February, I've uploaded dozens of fights, so check it out, guys.
All right, check it out, guys. If you want the latest and greatest of boxing fights, check out Muscle Memory's channel. It's Muscle Memory, but I think it's got a number in there instead of the...
It's Marshall Ministry, youtube.com/Marshall Ministry.
Marshall Ministry, all right.
Come back from where? Did he go on vacation or something? BDA?
Jail.
COVID.
Zurdo Ramirez hasn't fought since Noah built the Ark.
All right, listen. Muscle Memory, we're going to move on. Thank you for calling in. All right, man.
All right, take care, guys.
Take it easy, man. All right, we got another caller here who's been on the line for quite a while, so let's get to him right away. 510, you're on the air. 510.
Yeah, what's up? This is Rock Clock 222, the one and only, the most undefeated, the killer of the gay chat room. Yo, check this out. Do you know who I want to see Canelo fight? I want to see Canelo fight his PED addiction. That's what I want to see him fight. Y'all over here sucking his dick. Everybody's sucking his dick. Don't want to accept the fact that he fought an old-ass Triple G. He fought a washed-up Jacob. He fought a tiny-ass, no chin Amir Khan. And he fought a washed-up Kovalev. And we over here talking about him, who we going to fight, who we should fight. You don't want to fight Benavidez. You don't want to fight Bivol at 175. You don't want to fight Caleb Plant. And you don't even want to fight the two bums, Andrade and Charlo. And I can't believe y'all got a whole show talking about this PED white man who speaks Spanish.
White man who speaks Spanish. I think that's the first time I've heard somebody describe Canelo that way.
Well, I'm a white boy and I can see a little bit of it, man. Who are you talking?
You know, hey, Canelo is the biggest cheater and the biggest PED user. He got every weight class, dehydration clause. He could, listen, you cannot move up and down in weight and be healthy like that unless you're on PEDs. And you could tell when a fighter is doing that, he's on PEDs. Canelo was the new Floyd Mayweather, and y'all can't accept it.
Rasclot, speaking of people who can't accept it, T-Tone Toledo in the chat room, shout out to T-Tone, but he's saying, this guy, speaking about you, this guy talking junk.
Yeah, of course. Well, usually my junk is shooting up in his mom's face.
Oh, now wait a minute.
All you need to know is this. Canelo is a big cheat. He fought a washed-up Canelo. Listen, Kovalev was a lethargic man in there. He wasn't the same guy that fought that English dude with the braids, baby Anthony Joshua. No, Kovalev was a drained man, and he couldn't rehydrate to his natural weight, and he was washed up and slow, and Canelo took advantage of it.
Well, it's kind of hard to disagree about the what's it called, the PEDs, man. I mean, I know some people like to talk about how, oh well, he was vindicated at the end, but was he really, man? I mean, you look at his physical shape, and
people. But what I'm saying though, people need to keep that same energy. See, Canelo tested positive clearly and got a weak sentence for it. But we accused Anthony Joshua of being on steroids, but he's passed all tests. We accused Manny Pacquiao of being on steroids, but he's passed all tests. But when Canelo, who clearly flunked, all of a sudden, oh, it's okay. He did his little 6 months. That's the guy is on PEDs, and I'm not a fan.
Well, there you go, man. Now, to be fair, though, because I got to keep asking the same question to everybody, I know you're not a big fan of Canelo, but who would you want to see him fight next out of all the guys out there?
Yeah.
I want to see him fight Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant. All right. Well, that's a new choice. Everybody's always bringing up Golovkin or Callum Smith,
He's not going to fight Bivol. He's not going to fight Bivol at 175 because he'll lose. Listen, the guy is a midget at 175, okay? He is a midget at 175. That's the reason why there's rehydration clauses. That's the reason why he's on PEDs. But everyone is afraid to say that. They won't admit it, but they'll say it about other fighters. They'll say it about Anthony Joshua. They'll say it about Manny Pacquiao. They'll say it about Earl Spence. But they won't say it about Canelo, who tested positive before.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. I would like some Canelo fans to call in and see what how they dispute that. But listen, Raskla, thank you for the call. You were a little bit low energy today. I think you need to step up the energy next time, man.
Oh yeah, I will. I'm feeling a little sick right now. I've been laying on my back all day getting head from the chat room's mama.
Ah, jeez, Louise.
Right all right,
all right, take it easy, Raskla. That was Raskla 222, undefeated. He's at what, 65-0 now? Last time I checked, I think that was it.
Yeah. Here's the fact of the matter, dog. Because Rascott is 1,000% correct with every fucking word that just came out of his mouth. He's a cheating motherfucker. He's a piece of shit. He's fought a bunch of old guys who were shot and or weight drained, and he don't want to fight no live dog. Here's the fact of the matter is, and some of these dudes in the chat can't accept it as well. You got a bunch of old men on your resume, bro. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. He is the second coming of Floyd, bro.
What about Daniel Jacobs? What about Daniel Jacobs?
Okay, well, that's one. That's one.
Austin Trout was in his prime, but not too many.
This
is what I disagree.
Okay, wait. What did Austin Trout ever go on to do after he beat Cotto? Nothing.
Wait, he married a white woman. Come on, that's got to count for something.
Oh, Mexican.
Oh, it's Mexican? Okay, forget about it then. No, because he didn't marry no white woman.
Anyways, what did Austin
he's
Trout ever do besides beat an older Kovalev? Nothing. How good is that win, really? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Golovkin, you can't say, oh, he was old, because people wanted to see him fight Golovkin. So,
but he lost the first one.
All right, but technically he won the first. Listen, the second fight you can't disagree with that. I mean, you can if you want to, but it was no robbery.
The second fight was the draw.
Hey, by the way, hold on. Before I continue, because I gotta catch up on some of these super chats here.
Oh, I read them.
You read them? Okay. So then, shout out to Chris K, aka Undercover Asian, who just donated the super chat. He says, Canelo versus Ferguson at Dana's Fight Island. Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea, Chris. Shout out to Chris K for the contribution. Hey, what about they should start holding fights on...
They should have those fights on Epstein's Island.
Ah, shit, you stole my joke. That's what I was gonna say.
By the way, real quickly, I did a stream. This not to plug myself or anything, but I did a stream this morning. I rescored Pacquiao Marquez 3, and I rescored Pacquiao Marquez 1. The first fight I had it 6 rounds apiece with 3 knockdowns for Pacquiao. The second fight, or the third fight, I had it 7-5 Manny. So blow me.
All right. So you got
Blow me the
Bias. Bias.
This is where I have to disagree with you guys.
How dare you?
Look, Canelo does get a lot of hate.
How
I remember
dare
the
you?
time when he fought Kovalev, and I was on the BDA. Man, it was so negative just trying to speak about Canelo that it was like really like exhausting and draining. So when
You
they
know
say that
what?
he gets no hate, he gets a lot of hate.
I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna agree with that.
Are you now?
I'm gonna say he did get a lot of hate. I was one of them. Because hey, look, but he did get a lot of hate. Look, man, if you feel in your heart of heart that shit was a legit win, that's a big win. I don't care what anybody says. Fucking Canelo beating Kovalev, the guy who's been dominant for like the last decade, at least the last decade, 2010 to 2019. You could say he was the best light heavyweight, right? So if Canelo beat him after he came off a win, you should think that fight was legit.
That's right.
Yeah, I think
that was a good fight. The against Anthony Yard. I mean, Anthony Yard was unproven. He was undefeated. Like I think all knockouts. But we can't forget that he was one punch away from being knocked out. And if that fight would have taken place in England, they would have.
By the way, he was tired after the second round. Go ahead.
Who, Kovalev?
No, Yard.
Oh, Yard.
Like,
yeah, he was.
All of a sudden was his. Oh well, he wasn't such a bad fighter. He was. I mean, he gassed out after round 2, and they managed to hurt Kovalev. Kovalev just looked frail since the Andre Ward loss.
That's true. He's a bit like he's like the Linares of 175.
Yeah.
But no matter what, if that victory, even if you thought he was like a little bit soft, that's a historic win.
Mm-hmm. It's true,
I'm sorry,
man.
it's like
no, I don't think. I mean, it's like
It just looks like Yard is like a cruiserweight, like really big, but just dehydrated down to 170.
He was.
Maybe that's why
He got tired because of all that muscle. You know,
listen.
Yeah, but come on, man. Kovalev still came back, beat leader Alvarez.
Oh yeah.
And come on,
Yeah,
it's like maybe he wasn't the same. Yeah. Maybe he wasn't the same that fought Andre Ward the first time. He wasn't that Kovalev, but
no,
he didn't beat like a fucking 0% Kovalev. He beat like at least 80% of what he used to be.
That's right.
He fought like shit in that fight, but he still beat a guy that was capable of beating top guys at light heavyweight.
That's true. Hey, listen, you could make the argument Kovalev was the number 1 light heavyweight at the time, man, because he lost. He was
right in terms of like resume, maybe I would disagree a little bit. I think at that time it was between
Bivol and Gvozdyk. I think that's what he meant to say. But before we continue, shout out to my team over Euros who just donated the super chat. He says, other than Triple G, all the middleweight and super middleweight champions are around Canelo's age. Time will tell if he is a legit champion. All right, shout out to my team over Euros. Thank you for your contribution. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. Hit that like button, subscribe. We just got another contribution from New York Rob, who says, real question from a casual. What fighter at Canelo's weight is doing what you want Canelo to do, or is fighting the big fights? That's a good question. Very good question, NY Rob. We're going to get to it. Thank you for your contribution. But before we do that, because we got somebody waiting, somebody remind me, please, to get back to NY Rob's question. We got somebody on the phone lines who's been waiting for a while, so let's get to it. 619, you're on the air. 619.
Yeah, what's up, guys? It's Jose again. I just called back because I found the article, so take it for what it's a quote from Canelo from ESPN Deportes, and this is what it says. I represent Mexico, and this is how I see it. I like to represent my country, and I do not like the idea of facing a Mexican because because I don't like facing because I represent Mexico, and I like it's kind of hard, and I like the fact, and I'm proud of it, said Canelo. But he says he does leave the door open to it because if the fans want that, that's ultimately, But yeah, I actually found an article where he says that the reason is because he represents Mexico and he doesn't like the idea of fighting another Mexican. Mexican.
Man, what is this? What are we playing at the World Cup here? This isn't the world. This
PR.
is soccer.
PR. Public relations
I'm
shit.
just saying because you guys are
Play them
arguing about it. I'm just saying what it is. You know.
Yeah, thank you for the
There's
article.
there's
Because I'm
room
gonna.
for speculation.
Do you have
All right,
the?
later.
Hey, no, wait, Jose. Before you go, are you still there? Shit, he fucking hung up. I wanted to ask him to the actual date of the article because I wanna look for it. I'm gonna
I
look
like
for
Jose's style. He makes you think.
Yeah, and he hangs
right?
up on you. But
yo, I just paid $82 for this carton of squares, bro. I'm about to grab like 100 of them bitches and go out by Recognize. We'll sell them for $1.30 a pop, bro.
No, you could sell them for more than that. Wait a second,
Yeah.
boy. Let me talk some sense into you right now.
All right, listen.
You can sell those fuckers for $2.50.
Yeah, for real.
Let's get to the question from that super chatter.
Yeah,
the last one.
Okay, can you read it or do you want me to read it? Because I want to look for the article that Jose was talking about.
Hold on, okay.
Well, okay, I'll read the question. I'll let you guys throw it around. The question was, real question from a casual. What fighter at Canelo's weight is doing what you want Canelo to do or is fighting the big fights?
Well, what was the question?
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? He said,
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Shut up. Who else at Canelo's weight? Let's expand it. To be fair. Who else
at
around
Canelo's weight?
Yeah, is doing what he's doing, fighting the best.
At his weight.
That's right.
There's not that many guys there. There's like what? Triple G. Let me see. Who else?
Jacobs. Derevyanchenko.
I mean, are those guys star fighters where they could do what Canelo's doing? That they could just go up and wait and demand title fights and shit like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of those fighters are on the come up.
It's not like Derevyanchenko can go up to 168 and demand fucking Caleb Plant to fight him.
Yeah, right. Caleb Plant's gonna be like,
He's a small guy. He's like a 50.
No, but what Johnny Boy is saying, time out. What Johnny Boy is saying is that Derevyanchenko don't have no star power where he can go up and say, "Hey, Caleb Plant, today's your lucky day. I want to fight you." No, he can't say that, right? Caleb Plant's gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like literally, like he won't even mean it. I don't even know who you are, bro. Like I don't know. You're the guy that fought Triple.
Yeah, it's like Golovkin. Nobody wanted to face him, but there was like an old generation of fighters, the Martinezes of the world, and that generation, the 60-pounders. But then Golovkin came, and there was nobody really there. And like, there's a lot of fighters in the come up now. And a lot of fighters on the come up, a lot of them are 30. That's the knock on them. They're 30, 31, and Canelo's got the deepest resume in his career. But specifically at 68, even 60, it's not that deep at all. So none of these guys, you tell me a fighter in boxing, not just that division, that's got a better resume than Canelo. I could only probably name a few. And that doesn't speak
Gonzalo, let me ask you a
good
question.
about boxing.
Yo.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, son, Gonzalo. Something that Johnny Boy brought up. Would you respect Canelo if he fights Dimitri Bivol at 168 instead of 170?
Of course, that's the toughest fight for him because
you would
has hardly lost
This is what I just said. At 168.
At 68, it's all right because he's not a big guy. I think Dimitri Bivol, he chose to go to 75 because he was very dominant at 68 to look for bigger opportunities. He's naturally a 68 pounder.
My thing, you know what the best was, real quick. Before, because I recognize just said Plant would give Derevyanchenko the brush off. The best one was Ray Robinson and Carmen Basilio, and Carmen Basilio went up to Sugar Ray Robinson, tried to shake hands or whatever, and Sugar Ray Robinson gave him a brush off or whatever, and Carmen Basilio was like, he said, well, in my head I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fight this son of a bitch one day and kick his fucking ass.
more similar. Sorry, Johnny. More similar, I think, to naturally like 175 pounders. I think it's Benavides and Ramirez. Those guys are like really, and even Caleb Plant, man. That guy, he's struggling at 68. I think he's a 75 pounder too. So they're all kind of in the same boat. They're big.
Right.
I think Dimitri Bivol is more like a 68 pounder than those guys. fighting at 68 right now.
Yeah, but Gonzalo, that's what I was saying in the beginning of the show, bro. Why wouldn't he have just stayed at 175 when he just knocked out Kovalev then?
Because
that's what I was
it's
bringing up. That's what I was bringing up. Exactly what you just said, Johnny boy. I was saying,
look, he looks strong.
why
He
not
looks
fight him
strong
at
at
175?
75.
He's too small.
Canelo looks strong at 75, but he is even
But he
better
wasn't
at
too small to
68.
beat up
You know why?
Kovalev, though.
Yeah,
Because
but
the only thing that Canelo didn't do for that fight, he didn't cut weight. It's just
they
he
chose Kovalev
came
for
in around and just walk around weight. That's all he did.
yeah, and they chose Kovalev for a reason. All right, that's why they
So
chose Kovalev because
yeah,
he looked, they saw he was looking weak. That's pretty much it.
So why not? If I'm Canelo, if I'm walking around at 175, I came in and fought Kovalev and I beat him. Why not cut weight and come in at 68 and rehydrate just the same size that I came in for the fight as Kovalev? He'll come in
Why
just
would
as
Bivol
strong.
have to move down then?
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying at 170, but here that's in hindsight. He done dropped the belt. So like for him to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll fight you at 75 again." Why did he drop the belt? I see what you're saying, yeah. And then in an ideal world, yeah, fucking fight better Beef and fight Bivol at 75, and he should have kept the belt, Johnny. Yeah, I agree with that.
But why didn't he keep the belt? I mean, I think it's logical why he didn't do it.
Well, my whole thing is like this, because like I say, I don't have a horse in the race for the Canelo Bivol shit. To me, Bivol's a boring cunt too, so I don't got a horse in the race. But if he was gonna, I mean, he's skilled, but he's fucking boring. But anyways, he you know, if you were gonna talk about the Bivol fight, then why wouldn't you have just done it when you were at 175 and had a title at 175 instead of now 8 months after the fact? Talking about, well, I'll meet him in the middle at 160. It's so you can drain him, bro. Like, come on.
Because look, Canelo's small for 75. Canelo is a good fighter, but at 75, he's not really that special. I thought that fight with Kovalev was close until the knockout came. Maybe because that's a shot Kovalev. Until the knockout came, I thought that fight was pretty close. Look, Canelo's good at 75, but he's better at 68.
Yo, listen,
Yeah,
I don't.
and he's better at 68, and you know why he's better at 68? Because he can't make 60 no more. So the weight for him is 68.
And I don't care how good Canelo is. Just physically, there's that disadvantage, right? There's a disadvantage. His arms are too short. He's just a midget, like the caller said. I don't know which caller it was.
It was Rascal, I think.
I mean, if you want to see him against Bivol, I can understand why you want to see that fight because let's be honest, like Gonzalo said, Canelo's not going to lose a decision at 168. He's also a pretty good fighter himself, so there's no way he's going to lose any fights at 160 or 168. At 175, even if you by the judges, get the referee on your side, a guy like
Bivol's gonna break that boy up if they fight at 175.
One thing, Bivol, he's been dropped a couple of times. You know, not all these punchers have the greatest chance historically. We know that also.
He's gonna box his head up.
Sorry, I'm gonna talk about Beterbiev. Beterbiev can fuck him up.
Oh no, Beterbiev is
Beterbiev can, but he's been dropped also. He's been dropped.
Yeah,
you know what?
Beterbiev's gonna kill the midget. I mean, this guy's a midget. I mean, he ain't
he's
no way. Even with all the steroids he takes.
Allegedly.
Excuse me, allegedly. Even with the good stuff that he takes, I just say good stuff, right? That's okay.
That's right. Yeah, that's okay.
Even with
that's
the good stuff that he takes, he's still not as strong as Beterbiev.
He's strong, but you can't work out your chin. Recognize? Remember the Mike Tyson quote? Strong.
Yeah,
He's
but it doesn't
physically
matter
strong
when a guy that big is trying to kill you. He's not even trying to box you. He's just trying to kill you.
Guys, guns. Hold on. We gotta call. I want to go back to the Bivol thing, but before we do, I think we got Jose calling back again. Jose, ¿qué pasó, hermano?
Yeah. Nah. Hey, yeah. Sorry, guys. I was having a hard time reading that article because I actually found it, but it was a video of Eagle Boxing, but he had the screenshots of the ESPN because I couldn't find it anywhere else. But I knew that's what he had said. So, but he actually does have the screenshots and the quotes and everything. It's on Eagle Boxing.
Yeah, I wanted to say that because I was looking for the video. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why because my screen was going off and on. That's why I was having a hard time reading it. I had to turn it back on, and But you can find it with Eagle Boxing talks about it. But he has the article on his screen. What I wanted to mention is that I remember why Canelo didn't keep fighting after he beat Kovalev at 175 is because Eddy Reynoso. I watch what's that show? A los golpes. This was actually when they were criticizing Canelo, Faitelson, and a lot of people, Mexicans, were criticizing Canelo. He kind of like said that Kovalev was actually one of the best, light heavyweights, even though that's true or not, or may not agree with that. But and they wanted to go after that belt. So they wanted to do that because, when it's all said and done and they go back on the history books, it's like another Mexican going after another, because there hadn't been at the time a Mexican, who possessed the light heavyweight belt. So that's the reason. He just wanted to collect the belt, man. But my own opinion on that is that why Canelo acts the way he does is because, this is my personal opinion, is he already got paid from the zone. So he kind of he's just fulfilling these fights, man. So he doesn't really, you know what I mean? He kind of just going through the motions and just collecting the belts and just padding his legacy.
That's what Bucho said. Yeah, that's what Bucho said too, that might be going on.
So, but it is true, man. Like, who doesn't do that, man? Who doesn't do that? Travieso Arce went after 4 titles. Mikey Garcia, They don't necessarily mean anything, but why does Canelo get criticized for it? We all know that Mikey, is like a 4-time world champion. So is Travieso Arce, but does that mean they're like Hall of Famers? So I mean, you got to be objective, man. You can't just look at one thing. Like boxing, man, is just, that's how it is, man. Everybody goes back in time, and all that matters is what's on
paper.
On the
Yeah, on the record. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. But listen, we shit on everybody equally here. That's the great thing about us. We don't have any qualms about degrading people and ourselves on this show. So listen, Jose, we're going to move on to another call, but thank you again for calling back and clarifying that. All right, man?
All
right. Take it easy, man.
Hey, wasn't he in that movie with Heath Ledger, this guy?
Which guy?
The guy on the screen.
The guy on the screen.
Oh, the guy that Butcher's putting on? Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he in that movie with that Gyllenhaal kid and Heath Ledger and those fucking guys? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because Butcher's putting up a picture of...
He looks fake, man. I'm sorry, bro. He doesn't really want to be doing this. He's like, all right, man.
It looks like a stuffed horse. It looks like they grab a stuffed horse and... Butcher, put that...
If that's that horse,
listen, man, I gotta admit, I'm a hater. I don't like this motherfucker. I just don't believe
I don't like the
motherfucker. And I'm just gonna admit that I'm a hater. I'm not gonna pretend with you guys. That's the label. I don't like this motherfucker. I don't respect him. I don't like nothing about him.
I don't either.
Hey guys, let me.
Looks like a unicorn.
Yeah. Everything that he does seems fake to me. So I give up. I'm trying to be politically correct.
Yo, shout out to the callers for being normal today instead of some goofy shit like we had last night too.
I wish we had a couple of more goofy. Well, actually we have somebody on the line right now. Let's see if we get. All right, 559. You're on the air. 559.
Hey, yeah, guys, calling back. I want to say, because nobody ever mentions this, and I mean, you guys are boxing fans, like real boxing fans. That's what I'm calling it. But nobody ever mentions how Canelo is. I mean, I can't remember the last time Canelo was fighting someone his fucking height, or if he's always the smaller guy. It's like he should be fighting at 154 to me. He went up to 160 for the bigger fight. Now he went up to 168. And then 175, like somebody said, if you know boxing, you understand that beating Kovalev, what is it, like 6'2", 6'3", or some shit? That motherfucker is 5'9". I'm
Kovalev
6'2".
6'1".
You put a 5'9" motherfucker.
Yeah, but...
I'm going to fuck him up and then fuck him down just so he knows who's daddy. He's 5'9". He ain't going to be 50.
Yeah, but he's 5'9", but theoretically, it's not just the height. He's a big dude. He's got a lot of muscle on.
Yeah, he's too broad for.
And he also loses his length. The arm length. He has to be in the inside, and he has to back out really fast. He has like 6-7 inches of disadvantage in length on his arms. It's like this is the way I see it. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't want Canelo. I don't want to see him fight at 175. if you guys remember the Lomachenko fight against Campbell, he didn't fight the way he fought other fighters that are his division or his size. It was kind of boring. The Canelo fight against Kovalev was kind of boring. He had to fight a certain way that's very slow and very mechanical. Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence, it's boring because you have to fight a certain way. If there's a certain limit in weight where a fucking fighter can go up to, and I think 175 is one too much for Canelo. He can't fucking do it. Mikey 147 is too much. And the same reason that Lomachenko won't fight Jose Ramirez at 140. He said, I reached my limit. 135 is it. And I agree. Campbell looked fucking huge compared to him. And it was a boring fight and I like watching Lomachenko.
No,
I don't want to see Canelo there because they're going to make some boring fucking fights. I already know it.
Well, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I will say that the Lomachenko Campbell fight wasn't the most exciting fight, but it wasn't. I wouldn't call it boring. But yeah,
That was
Canelo.
a good fight. I thought
That
it was
was a
good.
fight. Yeah, but listen, Canelo 175. I do think it's asking too much of him. But at the same time, 160. You probably can tell the guy's fucking killing himself to make that, and it's only because of his youth and the supplements that he has that allows him to be making weight at that point. But I doubt we see him back at 160, man. I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. All right, listen. Anything else before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to say that I hope that at the end, Canelo fights Murata just to piss everybody off. Because nobody knows who Murata is unless you're like a boxing fan, you know that he's a fucking gold medalist. He did Esquiva Falcao in the fucking Olympics, Nobody knows Murata, but hey, if you're a boxing fan, you'll watch it and everybody else can go fuck themselves, He's gonna make a shitload of money.
He'd be an entertaining fight for sure.
He should go over there and fight it.
Yeah, that's right. Murata's known around the world, on this side of the world.
Yeah, he's not the most. Well, he fought on ESPN televised a couple of his fights, so it's not like he's a complete unknown. But that would be an entertaining fight, puncher versus puncher. That would be cool. All right, thank you for calling in, man. We'll catch you in the next one.
Oh, hey, one last thing, my bad. I don't mean to take too much time. But
go ahead.
Oh shit! You hung up. Yeah, I wanted to. Ramirez, right? Beto Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
When the reason he dropped that belt, I mean, he was gonna drop it anyway, but Ramirez was the automatic contender for that belt. He was right next in line, so he would have had to a mandatory against Canelo if he would have held on.
Canelo ducked though. Canelo ducked though.
Before anything even happened.
Well, listen, we'll see what happens with that whole thing. I mean, I do think that Canelo's going to end up fighting somebody good. The guy does not fight complete and total bomb, so we'll see what happens. All right, man, and call back next time. Take it easy.
Will do.
All right, keep that mask on. All right, listen, I wanted to say something in regards to 175 because there does seem to be some people, saying. Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Let me just put this picture because we were talking about a picture that Bucho put up here, and. That does not look like a real horse, man. That looks like a fake horse. It looks like the horse is taking a shit and Canelo's just waiting for him to be done. I mean, it's a bizarre, it's a bizarre picture. Let's just put it that way. That's why Johnny Boy said that. Wasn't that the guy who was with him? What's his name? Heath Ledger, making a little bit of a Brokeback Mountain reference.
That's a Spanish horse called Andaluz.
Hey, by the way, speaking of horses, some dude called Agent something. I don't have the email in front of me, but he sent me a long ass text on the Discord private message. How Canelo he eats horse meat. What was he saying? Fuck, I can't find it now. But he was saying look into horse meat manufacturing, leather glove, something like. And I said, what the fuck? I wanted to ban the guy, but apparently it's a conspiracy theory about Canelo, eating supplements or blood from the horses or something. But look, I wanted to put up an article about because you guys were mentioning 175, right? Hold on, let me share it with you guys here on the Hold on. I want to share
One
with
more
you
thing
guys.
about Canelo's horse, real quick, bro.
Go ahead.
Here's the aftermath of that picture you see right there with Canelo on the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo got pissed off that the horse wasn't performing properly, so he pushed it off a cliff like Nicky Scarfo did. Okay.
Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute. That you're gonna get the PETA people going after Canelo now. Come on, is that what you want for the guy?
Are you part of PETA? Because I want to slam the fuck out of your beaver.
I hadn't heard that one before. I'm gonna use that one next time I see one of those fucking animal activists.
That's a beauty, bro. That's a beauty. Yeah.
All right, listen. Here's an article from Boxing 24, which is essentially a blog, but I mean they have some good information rundowns if you want them. Beeble said this. He says, I have my belt and I have to keep it to get more belts. Wow, he's a real genius, this guy. This is my motivation, said Beeble. Of course, I see my future at 175, but I've talked about how I can move down to 168 to get the big fight. I don't have a problem making 168 to fight Canelo. Why we're talking about Canelo is because he has a problem with his opponent. I know that you and the zone don't have a problem making a fight between you and me. Okay, I don't know. He's asking a rhetorical question, but essentially he's saying he would be willing to move down to 168 for the big Canelo payday. So he's saying that straight out of his mouth there. He's willing to do that.
He's willing to come down to 168, yes.
That's what I was
He's
saying.
willing to rehydrate only by 2 pounds. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I believe he can make 68 comfortably, but it still will be perceived like he made him dehydrated.
well, I mean, he is dehydrated if he's going down to 168. And would there be a rehydration clause the next day?
One day, Gonzalo, you're gonna see him shoot a fair one, and somebody's gonna tax that ass, and you're gonna say, I wonder how legit his wins were against these big 175 pounders. It's gonna be a day he runs out of favors, and he's gonna have to fight a fair one.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think he will ever go back to 75. Maybe one off again. Do you think he'll even go back to 175?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna fight at 168. That's it.
Certainly not as an older man, because that'd be more dangerous for you fighting bigger
He's
guys.
gonna
as
be
you're an
done
older
by
guy.
32. He'll be done.
Yeah, but you know what? Though, recognize when you say that, one day he's going to run out of favors and somebody's going to tax that ass, it's not like he's a complete bum who's only winning because of rehydration clauses.
No. You're gonna have to beat his ass. That's one thing that's gonna have to happen. You're gonna have to beat his ass. He's a strong kid and he's full of pride, but that's gonna backfire one day. He's gonna fight one of these big guys. He's gonna think he has him right where he wants him. That guy's gonna come in strong and he's gonna whip his ass.
Yeah, maybe, man.
Dude,
Maybe.
he doesn't do great stuff. Like he doesn't move like his head great and come in. You can hit the dude. You can hit him. And one of Kovalev's worst performance, he was hitting him. He's still hitting him, bro.
He fought differently. I think he does move his head well. We saw it. With
Yeah,
the
but what I mean is he moves his head well. He doesn't move his head well while coming in and landing some offense. Like he doesn't really do that really well. He's kind of.
I think it's the
his
game
footwork
plan.
is
It's
average.
the game.
His footwork is very average.
They were gonna be all bendy and shifty and moving at the waist against Kovalev. They just decided to be more upright with the high guard, be able to stave off Golovkin's jabs, and then counter. It's a game plan, and that's what makes him well rounded. Obviously, maybe
high
he's
guard.
not the strongest or the best at one thing.
You
but
could be well
that's why I
rounded
think
and
Reynoso's
still.
a good. Yeah,
You could be well rounded and
Reynoso's
still
a good
fight
coach.
somebody that's just too big for you. Yeah, all that stuff is cool and everything, but a guy who's too big for you is just gonna, and he's good.
Yeah,
on top of
175 for sure. But at 168, will he ever, besides Callum Smith and maybe David Benavidez, there's not a lot of big guys over there for Canelo.
We're talking about strong. Look, Better BF is a strong puncher with like 100% KO ratio. But we talk about chins. Okay, who can bring strength but also has a chin? And I don't think Canelo's
Let me
the
ask you a
biggest
question.
puncher.
Who looks stronger, Beterbiev or Canelo? Who looks stronger?
Oh, Beterbiev.
Okay,
Beterbiev is stronger.
Right. So you would think that going into that fight he is stronger, right? So Canelo, who's kind of a slick fighter, but doesn't have the great footwork, he's not going to be able to get away from him. He's going to get hurt, bro, and he knows that. That's why they're not fighting him yet. They need to see him in like it.
Are you guys debating like Canelo fighting at 175? Like, cause I don't know what's the point of that is. Like he
No,
won't.
not really. Not really.
Okay, okay,
68
No,
okay.
so 168 is the place for him, but
Yeah.
there's no big fights there. That's what I'm trying to say. There's not that many. Maybe for him it's
One thing,
cool. Like,
Yeah.
I give him a chance. I give him a chance against Bitter BF, and I'm not gonna say if they had the balls because I don't know because of that. Although he's a dangerous fighter, man. He's a power puncher, 100% KO ratio, strong, come forward, a bruiser. But the guy he has been dropped, he was Rock Vosdick, who is a big puncher. So I'm not saying that he would, but if we're talking about like making a going for glory, yeah, that's what people want to see. And if you would win one of those like fights, really in history, I don't think that they would do it.
Listen, I was rewatching that Beterbiev Vosdick. Actually, no, I wasn't rewatching it at all. I was just watching the highlights. Somebody posted them on YouTube. This motherfucking Beterbiev is a brick shithouse. Because Gvozdyk is not a powder puff puncher. I mean, he did stop Adonis Stevenson, and he was like, you could, okay, Gvozdyk though, you can tell he's not putting he was more trying to emphasize speed to touch Beterbiev, and he was hitting Beterbiev flush with some shots, and Beterbiev's head wasn't moving. Except when he actually really did land a super flush shot, then he moved a little bit. But this guy just looked strong, and it looked like he didn't care about Gvozdyk's shots all that much. Now, the other thing we have to give Bivol credit for is he was actually outboxing Gvozdyk. It's not like he was just running him down with a higher guard. He was actually outboxing him. So at this point, Beterbiev, it's true, he can be hit, but he's got good footwork, man, for a guy who puts pressure on. Good in and out footwork from that amateur background, and a puncher. It's one of those big just punches that just will wear you down no matter where he touches you. So Canelo should just avoid that guy for sure, man. There's no point in fighting him.
He hasn't even mentioned Beterbiev. He's not that stupid, man. I don't think he's stupid at all, actually.
He shouldn't.
He is a puncher. He's a bruiser, but at the same time, it's hard to like really appreciate how hard his punches are over like the TV because you really don't see any snap on them. Like when he turns them over and they're just extended or anything, they're just like have hooks, not all the way extended, but he does punch hard.
You know what, man? and Johnny Boy's gonna hate me for this, but I think the guy that would actually give him the most trouble, especially with a little bit more seasoning, Benavides, because Benavides has a good high guard, and he's got some whipping shots, some good power, and he leans back. He's got very good reflexes. So he's the taller guy than Canelo by a whole bunch of inches. I think he could actually avoid Canelo's counters and make him look by a little bit. So I think with a little bit more seasoning, Benavides for sure would be a nightmare style for Canelo.
I think Benavides beats Canelo.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're very similar in boxing style because they're both fast combination boxer punchers, but one guy's just way bigger.
Right. And one thing I would like to see Benavides improve on, though, is that stamina and that activity. Because he seems to, I don't know if maybe he doesn't have confidence in his stamina or maybe he's overconfident. He just says, eventually I'm going to get this guy out of here. But there's been fights where he sort of, dials it back a little bit and doesn't let his hands go. He's got the power to where he can wear guys down no matter where he hits them. So that's a fight that I would be very weary of for Canelo. As for 175, though, man, listen, Bivol, I think he could, after the Gvozdyk performance from Beterbiev, which was very impressive, don't get me wrong, but people are making out to be as he's invincible. Nobody's invincible. And Bivol has the type of style where he's faster than Gvozdyk. So maybe just...
Yeah, I agree that I think a guy like Bivol could end up beating Beterbiev because he just, he could box really well and he could keep Beterbiev off him for 12 rounds.
That's right.
And beat him on points. But if you're asking me if I think tiny Canelo could do it, no. I don't think Canelo could do it. I think if Canelo goes in there 175, weigh in whatever you want to weigh in on fight night, I think Beterbiev destroys him.
Yeah, because I look at that light heavyweight campaign from Canelo. I look at it as a Roy Jones heavyweight. It was a one-off. He's not gonna.
Yeah, it was a one-off. He fought the weakest guy, right, at the time, John Ruiz.
Well, yeah, out of the title holders, he was the weakest.
What was it? It was I believe it was Lennox Lewis who had 2 of the belts, and Ruiz had 1 of the belts.
Didn't Chris Bird have the IBF at that point?
Yes,
Could
I
have.
think it,
He could have. Yeah.
He had the WBA.
Yeah,
he didn't
did.
want to
Yeah,
fight.
he
He
did.
didn't want to fight Chris Bird, right?
That's right. Yeah.
He picked John Ruiz because he knew that was the guy that he could more likely beat.
I wonder if he could have beaten Chris Bird, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yo. So I'm out of green. I'm out of green, bro. I just took a fat hit off the resi. And I just poured up a nice glass of Shvedka. I'm ready to relax now.
Good for you, man. Good for you. But the whole fucking listen. We're nearing the 2-hour mark. We want to leave a nice compact show for tonight, so we're probably gonna end it in a couple of minutes. Suffice to say that Canelo's comments tonight, people took him from a different perspective. Not everybody agrees with what he said. Some people think that he's
actually not totally wrong, man. I don't think he's totally wrong.
Wait a minute. In what way?
No, I don't. I said I don't think he's totally wrong, but let's face it, it's not because of that.
Exactly.
Benavidez should be fighting Ramirez. These guys, all these little prospects, should be fighting each other. But that's not the real reason why he don't want to fight them. It's just that they're maybe they're low risk. Excuse me, not low risk. High risk and low reward at this point.
There's a whole lot of weird shit going on with him and his opponents, because I don't know if the Billy Joe Saunders was actually signed before this coronavirus thing got in the way, which it just adds to the conspiracy theories. But Canelo ain't too keen in letting everybody know when he or who he's fighting. He already skipped the date once, the Cinco de Mayo or September the date. He already skipped that once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be the same here, or I don't know, but this corona thing got in the way. But he doesn't really care to let his fans know who he's fighting. So there's just a lot of weird shit with that going on as far as his also, just in general.
He's an arrogant prick. That's what he is.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, Recognize doesn't pull any punches when it comes to Canelo.
He's an arrogant, but he's right, though.
How dare you?
You know, he's arrogant because I heard him mention in Spanish that he deserved to make more money for the Mayweather fight, and the guys that were interviewing him were astounded by that comment. Because I'm pretty sure he made millions, and at the time that was just a step-up fight. But he told the guys in Spanish,
"I make billions when we could make millions."
He knows what happened to him in that fight. That's what he's pissed off. He's like, "Hey, these motherfuckers, they really fucked with me that day."
You fucking tripping, he's an arrogant dude. He kind of reminds me of like a jock, those that wear the alphabet letters, walks around the high school with a pretty girlfriend, thinks he's better than everybody else, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he does have a square jaw, jock type of guy. And by the way, hold on a second. We got 2 incoming calls, last minute calls, by the way. All right, let's see what's going on here. 419, you're on the air. 419.
Hey, what's going on, BDA?
Oh, is this T-Tone?
Hey, listening to the show, enjoying the show.
Thank you, T-Tone. Thank you, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm just hearing a lot of talking. I thought that maybe there were some Canelo fans out there who are going to speak on the truth on the other side, but man, ain't nobody calling in and talking.
No, that's not quite true. We had a guy.
A lot of the junk being talked about Canelo.
That's not quite true. We had a guy from California call in and said that, hey, listen, the Mexican guys around Canelo's weight class have any really big resumes. So he was sort of standing up for Canelo there.
All right. Yeah. Hey, what I was going to get to, and I'll break that down later. The first thing is accusing Canelo of being on steroids. I come to put that straight. To put that other side on there. Millions of people in Mexico, men, women, kids, the same stuff that was in Canelo was in them too, man. All those innocent people, man. There's no food laws in Mexico. They make them cow. It's in the cows, it's in the water, man. So you can't say Canelo's on steroids, man.
Well, the commission seemed to think so.
Prove it. Ever since Canelo stopped eating that meat, there's been no problem, right?
But yeah, come on. I mean, that excuse could be.
No test.
Yeah, but that excuse could be made for any. Yeah, but first of all, okay, Tito. First of all, let's look at the facts, man. Look at Memo Heredia's interviews. Listen to Victor Conte's interviews. right now at this moment, there's tons of top fighters cheating, and they can get away with it because the research they do, they're always one step ahead of the people testing. They know that you can, they got the cycles down to a T. It's a science. It is science.
Hey,
They know when to avoid this test. So for what's that?
yeah. And here's this too. I get what you're saying, BDA, but science can tell if you ate something or if you cheated. Science can tell, man.
How is
I just told you they
Hey,
can't.
I'm not a scientist, but that's what the scientists say.
No, that's not how you do it.
Then,
No,
all right,
no.
there's the steroid talk right there. Hey, and getting back, one of the guys calling in there saying Canelo never fought nobody in their prime. Man, that's
He did in
straight
Holmes.
junk talk, ain't it?
Well,
hey,
Floyd
Tito.
Yo, who did he fight in his prime, T-Tone? Who did he fight in his prime?
Floyd
Floyd was 36, Holmes. How can you say that?
Well, was Floyd at the
And
top?
he whooped his fucking ass too.
Was Floyd number one? Was Floyd number one? Yes or no?
He was number 2 to me, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Hey, okay, but to the boxing world, man, he was number one.
Yeah, you got to give Canelo credit for.
Canelo fought Triple G. Was Triple G number one?
That's
number
right.
1 middleweight.
And the draw fight.
Number one
And
middleweight.
he lost,
Yeah.
Keep it real
He
now.
lost.
I'm keeping it real, man.
He's keeping it real, man.
Lara,
Me too.
was Lara
Keep
at
it
the
real,
top of his game?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to
Keep
be
it
one of
real.
those guys. All right, hold on. I'm not going to be one of those guys that criticizes Canelo's record and say,
Hey,
well,
I
everybody
get
he
it,
fought
BJ.
was
You're
okay.
keeping
Hold
it straight.
on.
Those other guys are talking junk.
Let me talk. Charlie Holmes, let me talk, man. Listen, Canelo, he fought, man, listen, come on. He's fought everybody. Golden Boy Promotions didn't want him to fight Austin Trout after Austin Trout beat Cotto. They still wanted Canelo to go ahead with the Cotto fight. Canelo said, fuck that. I don't want to fight the loser. I want to fight the winner. He fought Lara. He fought Mayweather, Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs.
Canelo has a good resume even before he went to 160.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Hey, and here's a little something on the Jacobs, BDA. Hey, when a smaller man
90
challenges
seconds.
a bigger man, yeah, when they reach that weight, they're going to make it as close as possible so the bigger man's not way bigger than the man at fight time.
mm-hmm. Well,
listen, Canelo got effed over
Jacob Smith, the
when he
weight
fought.
came in at what he wanted.
Hey, T-Tone, this
so
is what I would say.
That was a good win too.
T-Tone don't hear nothing, man.
Scrapper, man.
Go ahead, just talk. Just ask him a question.
T-Tone, this is what I would say.
60 seconds.
Canelo was fucked over when he fought Floyd. That's my personal opinion. And I think ever since then, he's been on that train to fuck other fighters over. That's what I think. That's why he's a very good fighter, because he has a very good resume, even before he went to 160. Okay, he already had a good resume. The problem with him is it's not even a problem. It's just that he's down with the system. He's down with the, hey, let's make some money, bro. I'll take care, and I know you're a human being, but I'm going to give you every advantage to win the fight. That's it. That's what. And I think he learned that. I think he learned that from Floyd Mayweather.
10
they drained
seconds.
him. They drained him. That's one.
Hey, recognize, hey, all right, that's good with that. Now answer me this now. When Canelo challenged Kovalev, what did you pick on that fight before the fight happened?
I thought Kovalev should win. And personally, I don't think you're gonna really like my comment. I don't think you're gonna like my comment.
Challenge, man.
But put it this way: Kovalev fought the most shittiest fight I've ever seen him fight in my life, in his whole career. So I'll just leave it at.
We're gonna break it down. I'm talking before the fight. Most thought that Kovalev was gonna win. Kovalev's a killer, man.
Well, no, that's not true.
He was gonna win.
T-Tone, that's not true. That's not true. There's people on this panel that didn't think he was going to win. Okay, that's one.
Well, a lot of people did.
They thought that Canelo was going to win. And second, Vegas had him up big time. They had Canelo up big time. They thought he was going to win.
I was worried, man. I called it a
big time,
SA. You know, Kovalev,
Somebody
man,
just fart?
he can jab you, take you out with the shot. You know, that was a scary
Somebody
fight
just
for
fart
Canelo.
on
Hey, and I'll tell you this, and you can ask Johnny Boy, probably in the 10th round, he was probably to make a video on, you know, dogging the Canelo, and then probably real tears went down his face when Canelo knocked him out in 11th. But that was a good fight. That was a good fight, wasn't it? You can't take that legacy
Oh,
from Canelo,
no, wait a
man.
minute.
How dare you?
Right.
How dare you?
And that was a killer fight, man.
Hey, listen, hold on a second.
So
hold on a
wait.
second.
You know,
So Tito, when Canelo knocked out Kovalev, you saw a tear come out of Johnny Boy's eyes. Is what you saying?
Yeah, ask Johnny. He'll tell you.
Johnny,
if it's
yeah,
the
man.
truth.
Hey,
You know?
hold on.
You had to get that out there on the steroids on Canelo. You can't put that on Canelo, man.
Hey, Johnny's back, man.
And then the legacy
First
of
of
him
all,
fighting.
hold on. I gotta get my piece off. I gotta get my piece off. Hold on. T-Tone, shut your cállate.
Nobody. N-O-B-O-D-Y.
T-Tone, cállate, T-Tone. I picked Canelo to knock Kovalev out prior to that fight. You can go check my videos, bro. Dumbass.
Yeah, right.
Try again, though. I picked Canelo to win by knockout, bro.
I can only believe half of what
I picked Canelo to win by knockout,
out of
bitch.
your own mouth. That's what you say.
Okay, well, good.
So that's that on that.
I like how we were gonna.
I think Tito. It makes Tito happy to picture you crying, Johnny Boy. Canelo knocked it.
I had to.
Nah,
man. I knew what time it was, bro. I knew what
Johnny
time it
likes
was,
to
man.
rewatch fights and pretend. You know, I know about what happened in the ring.
Oh no,
Yo, we can score any fights you want together, Tito, and I'll murder you, bro.
I'll let you get on with the show with some other callers. I just had to put that side on there, you know.
All right, T-Tone. And by the way, Johnny Boy's gonna go live when we're done. So go on over to his show and duke it out with him.
Yeah.
Hey, BDA, can you ask T-Tone if you own Flow Riders?
I gotta say, man, when Tito and Johnny Boy go at it, it's the funniest shit, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Tito.
Yo, Tito, Canelo sucks.
You know, hey, I guess that's how it is.
Yo, you something, Pandeo.
Johnny looks for it, not me. And
Hey,
I
listen.
just answer him.
Listen. Do you? You know what? You and Johnny Boy should do a show. I want to see just a show where it's Johnny Boy versus T-Tone, man. Because I mean, I could listen to this all night, man.
Oh, I would pay to see that. Yes.
Man, Johnny don't want it, man. Johnny don't want that.
That's right. He doesn't want it.
And you know what? You can't beat
What,
the
a debate?
truth.
A debate? Or what are we doing?
Johnny can pretend.
He's calling
What
you
are we
out,
doing?
Johnny Boy. He
You know?
says he'll go on your channel.
What are we doing? A debate? What are we doing?
Yeah. He said debate.
Shit, I'll smoke your little ass. What's up, nigga? Fuck yeah.
He said, I'll come on there and school you.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Hey, you're daydreaming again, Johnny. You know?
Yo, I'm gonna murder you,
Go
bro.
by what happened.
I'm gonna murder
Don't
you.
go by about what you think about.
I'm gonna murder you, bro. Morte.
All right.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
we gotta move on.
Damn, Tito.
Thank you,
Say
T-Tone.
you're not even going to be
I'll let you get on
competition.
the
You're going to
show,
blow you away.
BDA.
All right, thank you, T-Tone. Thank you for calling in, man.
All
All right.
Tito right there.
That was T-Tone calling in, and he no se sabe relajar. All right, listen. All right, hold on. Before we continue, we hold on. Before we continue, hold on. Sorry, because we got two last
That
phone
looks like
calls.
Tito.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right. All right. 818. You're on the air. 818.
Hey, what's up? It's Raider from LA again, man. How's it going?
Good. Were you listening to what just happened here?
I was the other guy from Cali from the beginning. The first,
Yeah.
Cali.
Yeah, I know. But did you hear what just happened? Or
Cali 2, 818, right?
Yeah, I heard. I wanted to talk about real quick how you guys were talking about Canelo at 175.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you guys know Canelo doesn't campaign at 175. He went up there to get a belt, right? That's all he did. Yep. He wanted to do it for legacy. And you know what type of legacy it was? It was holding three championship belts simultaneously in 3 different weight classes. That hasn't been done since Henry Armstrong. That's over 80 years ago. That's what he did.
He wasn't holding. That's incorrect. Incorrect. Hold on. He did not have 3 belts in 3 different weight classes simultaneously, bro. That belt he won from Rocky Fielding at 168 pounds was a Fugazi. That was a secondary title, so that's incorrect, bro.
Hold on. Is that a? I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about. That's a baby belt, but it is considered a belt in the books, correct?
No. To even be compared to Henry Armstrong, you have to have 3 legitimate titles in the same weight class. Mind you, hold on, caller. Hold on. Cállate.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm not gonna let you disrespect our callers that way, Johnny boy. You better settle down there.
Okay, all right.
All right.
But here.
Okay, so
I was half kidding. I was half kidding, by the way. Just go nuts.
Okay,
it's not gonna go down.
Johnny boy, go.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Here, for you to even be in the discussion with Henry Armstrong, you have to have 3 legitimate titles in 3 different weight classes simultaneously. Not the WB Silver suck my dick title. That don't count. And not to mention, when Henry Armstrong did it, there wasn't 4 sanctioning bodies. There was 1 belt. 1 belt. So no, that's not even in the same stratosphere, bro.
I got a question, Johnny. And how many divisions were there at the time back then?
Yeah,
was it 17 like now? Was it? I think it was less.
No,
and I think he actually.
I think there were 8 or 9.
Well, there was, and also, wait 1 second. And also, he got a draw against Seferino Garcia, and if he would have got the victory because he got robbed, he would have been champion in 4 divisions.
Yep.
That's a good point.
I think there was only 7 or 8 divisions back
That's a good point. That's a good point. That is a good point. And by the way, this guy won't stop talking. All right, hold on a second, caller. Give me 2 seconds here because we gotta. No, you hold on. Give me 2 seconds because we gotta restart. Okay, so just to recap, Johnny Boy and Gonzalo are saying that it's not the same thing because now there's about 55 belts in every division and there's about 15 more divisions. So your response?
My response is so nobody can have 3 belts in 3 different divisions just because there's 4 belts now in every division. Is that what you're saying?
Unless you unify in them, then it don't mean nothing, bro.
Look, the caller is right. It's going to be in the books, but Johnny Boy is right because it doesn't have the same meaning as it did back then. It's just like one of these, participation belts and shit.
That's like saying Adrian Broner's a 4-division weight champion. That doesn't mean shit, bro. So that don't mean nothing, bro. Let's just keep it a buck to the caller. That don't mean shit.
But I understand where he's coming from.
It's not that impressive.
You're gonna talk or I'm gonna talk?
That impressive anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
It's diluted now. The belts. There's too many belts, right? So it's not.
Right, and then you got these secondary belts within the alphabet belts, so it makes it even worse. It's like,
and also one quick thing I'd like to add: when Henry Armstrong was doing it, there wasn't no junior and super divisions either. He had titles at featherweight, 126, lightweight, 135, welterweight, 147. Then fought against Seferino Garcia for the draw at middleweight.
Wait, what? Hold on, wait a second, Johnny. He might have been. No, those weight classes were around.
Canelo has.
None of the boxers took
What
it
I'm
serious.
trying to tell you.
Yeah.
They were around.
What I'm trying to tell you is that Canelo has 3 belts.
All right, hold on. Everybody's talking at the same time. Everybody's talking at the same time. Okay, let's let Raiden from LA respond, and then we'll get to. We'll let somebody else respond. All right, go ahead, caller.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that Canelo has 3 belts and 3 weight classes. Yes, the WBA was the Rocky Fielding fight, was a baby belt, but it's still a belt. I know back in the days there wasn't 4 sanctioning bodies, all the sanctioning bodies, but it's still in paper is considered 3 weight divisions simultaneously, 3 belts.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you can chop it up whatever. I'm not trying to compare Canelo to Henry Armstrong. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to compare that they have 3 belts in 3 divisions simultaneously.
But you can't call him. Then you can't call him a simultaneous 3-weight world champion, bro. When one of those titles isn't even legitimate that he won from Rocky Fielding.
Jeez, Luis.
To be fair, Johnny, a lot of people were doing it in the media, right?
Yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah, they're fucked up. Just like they're so desperate to push Wilder and Joshua down your throat as these all-time greats. Yeah.
Adrian fucking Broner is a 4-division champion. Robert Guerrero, I think it's a 3-division champion or 4-division champion. I mean, it's become a joke.
Well, listen,
All right.
if I might interject here, I understand the caller's point of view that it seems like there's two extremes when it comes to Canelo. There's people that think he's the best, and then there's people that think he sucks, and that everything he's done is because of advantages outside of the ring due to promotional issues. I think we can all look at the middle ground here and say that Canelo has fought everybody, well, almost everybody, as many people as he possibly can, and as many top opponents as he possibly can. Has he had certain advantages? Absolutely. That's part of the game. Mayweather did it. Pacquiao did it.
He's got a
De La
good
Hoya-
resume. And there's no doubt about that. I would
That's
never.
what I'm saying.
I would
Yeah.
never say that. I would
Yeah, but
never
okay,
say
but
he
what I'm
doesn't.
saying is,
All right.
what I'm saying is, hold on, caller. What I'm saying is, we can look at his resume and say, look, right now the guy's fought everybody. But when it comes to saying, well, he's this historic fighter, I will agree with Bucho and recognize and well, everybody on the panel that we can't put too much stock on the whole 3 division simultaneous championships because nowadays, look, just think about it this way: they even count that
Rocky Fielding. Just put it that way. Rocky Fielding. There will be a regular title.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
we don't have.
what does that mean?
We don't have to continue with this
Can I
discussion.
respond?
Rocky Fielding.
Can I
That's it.
respond?
Rocky Fielding.
Well, wait, who are you responding
Can I
to, though?
respond?
Who are you responding to? To Johnny Boy, me?
Anybody. What I'm trying to get at, you guys
Anybody.
are trying to compare the little WBA's super baby belt, not a belt. Okay, it's not the actual what do you call it? That recognized belt, right? Like one of the main belts. But
That's
Canelo
right. I got a
is
belt.
probably favored at 168 against anybody.
You would favor Canelo against anybody?
Anybody at 168.
Hold on.
Well,
because I
that's
think-
your
let me
opinion.
respond to that. Let me respond to that.
Well,
First of all, caller, none of the guys with belts at
Johnny,
168
hold
are
on,
even proven yet.
Johnny, because I didn't even hear the. I don't think people heard the question. Just before you respond, what was the question? Could you just tell us what the question was? Because I didn't hear it.
My question is, Canelo, who is favored against Canelo at 168?
Okay, Johnny Boy, go ahead.
For me?
No, for Johnny Boy, Johnny Boy.
The WBA baby belt. Who are you guys favoring over Canelo at 168?
All right, Johnny Boy was.
Okay, now can I? May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I said Johnny Boy. You can.
Oh, okay. Here, first of all those punks at fucking 168 with titles haven't even proven their worth. Just another fact of the matter that belts don't mean shit nowadays because all them dudes fought nothing to get a fucking title at 168 to begin with. None of them guys are even proven. So obviously I would favor Canelo over all those guys just off experience alone. Fuck the size, bro. Like that's like saying, who would I favor fucking who would I favor to beat fucking Lomachenko at 135 right now? It's obvious. Nobody. What the fuck?
Are you saying Canelo?
I got somebody. Can I answer it? Can I answer the? Yeah. I got Benavidez beating him.
You think?
I think the caller.
Yeah,
I think the point of caller. Are you trying to say that Canelo? Are you trying to say Canelo is in a way a champion just because he would beat everybody?
Because in his opinion, he would beat everybody at once.
So therefore, he's a champion, but he hasn't fought them. He cannot be a champion just because he hasn't because he's a favorite. He has to fight these guys to become the champion.
All right.
He beat Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding is a nobody. Let's be honest.
So let me respond to that then. So
Yes,
Henry Armstrong was a 3-weight division title holder with. He was a favorite in all 3 weight classes. Can we agree?
Who was a favorite? Canelo was a favorite in all 3 weight classes.
No, he's Armstrong.
You guys, who was that? Johnny Boy said that Henry Armstrong, he had a legitimate belts, right? 3 weight classes simultaneously. Right, so that means he was the champion. There was not many sanctioning bodies at the time, so he was the champion and he was favored in all those 3 weight classes. Can we agree on that?
There was called the fucking belt.
Well, there was only one. There was one unit recognized belt as the champion back then.
Yeah.
So,
right, so
Johnny's point is doesn't get any better than that.
Johnny Boy was saying that the belts don't count. First of all, he's saying it's a baby belt. Then he's saying that those guys are not proven. So
well, it is. It's not that.
So which one is it?
It's
no.
Johnny Boy doesn't have no choice. He has to say that it is a junior belt. It's like
It's a fact, bro.
He's not saying anything that's like,
correct.
Wow. It is what it is. He was the regular WBA champion.
Yeah. No,
Bro, what
I
I'm
mean,
saying,
so
what
yeah,
I'm
right?
saying
Do
to
the
you is
belts
this.
count or they don't count then?
Hold on, caller.
Do
Tell
the
the
belts
caller,
count
hold on,
or
bro.
they don't count?
Hold on a second. What's
At
the?
168? Because that's the one that we're not agreeing on. The WBA baby belt.
No.
Right. For
What I'm
Canelo to
telling
be
you
a
is
three-time
this.
world champion at 3 classes.
What I'm telling you is this. The belts don't have the meaning and the value that they did in Henry Armstrong's days. $1 would get you a fucking hotel room and a rental car back then. Just like fucking championship belts nowadays. You could have 2 fucking crooked eyeballs, be deaf, and have a missing dick, and they'd still give you a title in today's boxing. So what the fuck? Yeah.
Hey, by the way, okay, let me say something here, because first of all, we got another call. We got somebody who wants to join. We want somebody that wants to join the call. Hold on a second. 929. You want to join the call?
Yo, what's up?
Is it Virtuoso?
Oh, it's
Yeah, this is me.
All right, Virtuoso. Thank you for calling him. And we're having this discussion, and we gotta answer all the calls now, because otherwise it's gonna the time's gonna end. So okay, you go ahead and say.
All right, listen. Let me say this, man. I used to, like, back in the early 2010s. I used to like Canelo. I kind of empathize with his story growing up. This really white skin, Mexican. And I gotta say this, man. There's an historical context with that term, hijo de la chingada.
Oh.
That means mother of the fucked one. No, I'm speaking for real, man. Like, this is where I learned this, man. But like, there's an historical context to it. But so I kind of grew up, I kind of empathize with his story growing up, and I kind of respect him for what he did, at catchweight, 155, fighting, Mayweather, fighting Trout and Lara. He had a lot of moxie back then. But around 2015 and 2016, that's when I kind of started noticing him being a kind of a diva. Fighting, a smaller fucking Miguel Cotto, fighting a bloated Amir Khan, and, ducking Triple G. I mean, come on. The politics is right there in front of you, man. And what I think of him as, as a businessman, he tried to, like, I agree 100% with what Rafa said earlier in the show. This guy is cutting corners, man. He's following the Mayweather playbook, and for real, even early in his career, his career has been treated with kick gloves, man. Fighting Alfredo Angulo, fucking Matthew Hanna. It's like, this guy was way better.
Yeah, but
he was overmatched against Mayweather, but like, I think to me, it's like he's too good of a fighter to have all these advantages given to him. And that's what I feel about him.
All right. First of all, you gotta talk closer. You gotta talk closer into your microphone. Into your microphone, Virtuoso, because at the end you were like sort of lowering in volume. But when it comes, okay, Gonzalo, you want to say something?
Sure. Yes, I agree with Virtuoso. Listen. But I agree. But name me 3 fighters. Name me 3, just 3 that got a better resume than Canelo. I'm not saying that I don't disagree. That I agree with you. But just as a whole.
Yeah.
Chocolatito, Nanito Donaire, Pacquiao, Usyk, Long.
Oh, hold on. I want to hear Virtuoso's response. Virtuoso, go ahead.
I mean, the thing is about resumes is like, boxing is a business, and these fighters, they take their time of who they want to fight, when they want to fight, so it's about privilege, for me. That's the way I look at it, Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can I respond? So you said that Canelo fought a smaller Cotto. Well, at that time when he fought, Cotto was the 160 champion, right? Middleweight champion. And he fought Sergio Martinez.
Let me counter that argument real quick. Cotto was on the finish.
Hold on. Let me finish. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Cotto was the 160 champion. He fought Sergio Martinez and Daniel Gil at catchweights at 159 and 158. Canelo was fighting at 154 at that time. Cotto was the A side. He's the one that put it at 155 catchweight, not Canelo.
Yeah, and Canelo, if it was up to Canelo, he would have fought everybody at 150.
Injured Sergio Martinez, The WBC should have done a physical on him. The state athletic commission should have done a physical on Sergio Martinez.
I just wanted to break.
That fight was not valid, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
what
I'm trying to get at is that
that was an easy.
I'm trying to get at is that Cotto implemented that 155. Canelo was fighting at a 154 pound weight class at that time.
Yeah.
And Cotto was fighting at 160. When he fought Martinez and he fought Daniel Gil, that was at 158 and 159 pound catch weights. So Cotto was fighting at the higher.
It was a smaller WBC champ at 160.
Huh?
He didn't even make weight for that fight against Sergio Martinez. Facts.
Yeah, no. But what I'm trying to say is that Cotto implemented that 155 catch weight. It wasn't Canelo.
Virtuoso, did you just say facts?
I mean, the way I look at it is like, Golden Boy tried to handle his career. That's why he didn't want him fighting.
Okay. Let me break this down.
But that's where I respect Canelo, because he's trying to take control of his career. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, about catch weights and stuff like that, some people do, some people don't, I'll break it down. So like Canelo, when he fought Daniel Jacobs, right, everybody was like, 10-pound rehydration clause, correct? Everybody was talking about that. Why is that? Okay, so when Daniel Jacobs fought Gennady Golovkin, there was an IBF rehydration clause.
Yes.
Anybody?
No, I can hear you.
Yes.
Right? All right. Okay, so the day of that fight, what was his name? Daniel Jacobs.
He dropped the belt because he didn't want to fight Golovkin. He want to fight. He dropped the belt because he didn't want to fight for that rehydration clause. Is that correct?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said Daniel Jacobs dropped the IBF title. The IBF did not sanction that fight because they had a rehydration clause. Am I correct?
Yeah. So this is what happened. So Daniel Jacobs elected not to participate in the second day weigh-in, and he forfeited his rights to win the IBF title. Right.
Uh-huh.
So on that day, Daniel Jacobs was 10 pounds heavier than Triple G. 10 pounds heavier.
Right.
And made the fight closer than what it was supposed to be, because Triple G was a monster at that time, right? He was the number one. So they made it closer. So when Canelo fought Jacobs, Canelo's team said, "Hey, you know what? This guy is gonna go overweight anyways. He's gonna go over the 10 pounds. So let's fight him every pound he goes over. The 10 pounds, 100 or 250 grams, because he knew he was not gonna care about it."
Here's the thing, though.
All right.
Canelo.
All right, but hold on, caller. You gotta, Raiden, you gotta get to the point, man, because you're droning on, and we gotta end the show soon. So what? I don't even know. I'm doing 1,000 things at the same time here. I already lost sight of the conversation. What the hell are we even arguing about at this point?
No. So the question is, everything the other caller is saying, I'm trying to respond to that.
Yeah, but it's too long. This conversation is going on too long, man.
Listen. Let's do this tomorrow. Let's do this tomorrow. All right. Let's do another show tomorrow.
Let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Anyways,
for today. Call in.
Good channel, man. BDA. Hey,
call in next
channel,
time.
Man.
Hold on. I can't hear.
Man. Good stuff, man. I like
good channel.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, you gotta stop. We're gonna stop talking at the same time.
I'll call back next time, and I'll debate or even talk about whatever you guys want, man. It's all good, man.
All right, take it easy, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Subscribe to BDA, guys. Good stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. Okay, so thank you guys for calling in. Thank you to Virtuoso and Raiden from California or LA, Los Angeles. What's that?
I don't know.
Oh shit! All right.
818 is a Los Angeles area code. I got a homie from out there, and it's 818.
Okay, so thank you guys for calling in, man. All right, because we said we were gonna end it 20 minutes ago, and then T-Tone called in, and then we got into this whole thing. So, all right, but listen, thank you guys. Listen, it was we sure milked this subject for all it was worth for 2.5 hours. So that's good, man. I think we gotta pat ourselves on the backs. We deserve a little something. I'm gonna eat some pizza today. Why not? I think we deserve it. What else was I gonna say here? All right, so Bucho, you're thinking about doing a show tomorrow? You're saying?
Yeah, let's
All right.
continue this debate.
Yeah, because this was too long. We started. It turned into a debate about Canelo's worth as a fighter, and then it got into the minutiae of titles and rehydration clauses. So I suggest we hold on for that for another show, perhaps tomorrow, which you just said. So at the end of the day, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to recognize Johnny Boy, Gonzalo, Bucho, my co-host as well. Thank you to everybody who called in. Hold on. Now, before we go, I want to give a shout out to Jason Bourne, G Boogie, Chris K, My Team Over Yours, and New York Rob for their contributions via the super chat. Of course, everybody called in. Also, want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Before we go, is everybody jumping off here on the Discord? Or?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, just to make sure, because last words from you guys.
Be careful.
Be careful.
I guess there are fighters that got comparable, if not slightly better, resumes than I would have.
Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Guys out there.
I'm gonna say this. Canelo's a good fighter. I'm just a hater. To be honest with you. No. I don't like him. So
excellent.
I think my opinion is he's a fucking diva, right? That's my opinion. But he does have a great resume, so I got to keep it real.
Listen, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Get into it a little bit more. Get into the nitty gritty.
I'm a hater, goddammit.
You can't help it. Can't help it. All right, but I think it's a corona. But listen, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. All you panelists, thank you again, guys. You make this show what it is. Again, thank you to everybody that called in, all the people who donated for the super chat. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that like button. It's Good Friday, so shout out to everybody on the Good Friday. Sunday, maybe we'll do another show that day too. On Easter morning, perhaps. Yeah, Easter morning. Why not? And that's about it. Before we go, shout out to the before we go, check out Johnny Boy's stream. If you haven't had enough boxing, he's gonna do a stream, so go check it out. I forget. He said he was gonna do it on. I forgot what he was gonna do it. But find out. That'll be the suspense. Go to this channel, find out what it's gonna be about. Shout out to Johnny M, Rough and Real, T-Tone Toledo, Amok PvP, Red Glove Militant. Shout out to Red Glove, Junior Minimum Weight LDBC, Virtuoso, Guerrero de la Info, The Quags, Stephen Lawler, Boxing Virus, Johnny M. Who else was here? Hold on. Campos Vasquez, Black Lomachenko, Official Scorecard Boxing, Hawker Mustang, Box, that is BOKS. Who else? Am I missing somebody here? Anyway, listen, guys, if I miss anybody, I don't do it on purpose. Oh, Case Cederman Stuff, Tarvis the Chimp, OC Chavez, Amok PvP. You guys know who you are. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. Check out Johnny Boy's stream. And we'll see you on the next one, folks. Take it easy. Have a good one.